Pirates. Welcome to your Discourse Syndicate's FN Hangout. I am the captain, full pirate tonight. I am your captain, RG3, here to tell you that this is your stream. This is where you get to come in. I will post the link once again into the description here so that if you want to come join us, you most definitely can. It's on the Twitters. It's all over Telegram. If you want to come in, this is your place to come do it. All of you. Don't kick anybody off. Well, unless you get naked or do something that'll get us shut down, which hasn't happened yet. But welcome, everybody. I had to take this off. This hat, this tricorn hat just doesn't anyway. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's say hello to the chat room real quick. BC in the Matrix, you were first tonight. Welcome, welcome. Elliot, let's go. Hit that like button. Yeah, hit the follow button too, so we can get a little more subscribers. I'm getting yelled at by Kinetics. He's like, your numbers are dismal. Nobody watches your stream. You suck. You suck again. You still suck. And you're going to continue to suck. So he's always banging on me about that. But you know what? Here's the thing. And I know why. I know why we don't have as many viewers as a lot of these other channels. Because I don't shill other shit. I don't shill stuff that all you guys are going to go out and get happy on. So sorry. We just don't do that here. To each his own. Go have fun. Go study things. Go learn. Go get wrecked. Have a good time. Play with all your cryptos and whatnot. But I don't do that here. So probably why the ratings are so dismal. I figured maybe if I threw the pirate suit on, maybe we'd get some more viewers. Maybe not. Elliot, T-Bird, my man T-Bird, what's up? What's up, DMT? Let's effing go. Yep, Dingo Wolf, welcome. My lady, Sandy Beach, welcome to the show. I've been gone for a couple of weeks. Had some really cool, crazy stuff happen. I went to Vegas last week. 2 weddings in a row. I did a wedding. Brother got married, and then a friend got married in Vegas the 2 days after. Insane. I was in both of them. It was a lot of fun, but what a crazy week. Melv Tony, good to see you. What's the numbers? Give us the numbers. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to be asking you for some to check into some stuff tonight for us. Anyway, Hexecutioner, going to have to get me some syndicate apparel. Yeah, maybe we can get you something like this. Huh? Some pirate wear. Maybe we need some pirate wear in there. That might increase the numbers there. Ken Nipples. Vets in Crypto. What's happening? Good to see you too, man. Crypto Ewok. Hey, what's up there, OG? And then Crypto Journeyman. Sandip. Hey, Sandip, what's up? From India, all the way from India. Good to have you. Good to have you. Hexicon, hey, my lady, another one. Good to see you. Crypto King, the king, the producer is in the house, guys. Funny thing, my son's a little sporadic at times with things. Tells me 2 days ago that he's going on a trip. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Japan. I said, really? You didn't tell me about this? No. And he left the next day. My son's out tripping around in Japan on his own. Hopefully he can go out and hang out with King and his kid. They're about the same age. But he's out there tripping around Japan, sending me pictures. Freaking amazing kid. Amazing. Chris. Hey, welcome, Chris. Dorsey, 78. OG. And who else do we have in here? That looks like that is it. Well, welcome, everybody. What a great Tin Top, DB Cooper, Hexter. Hey, yep. Hey, what's up to you, man? Thomas Turner. Good to see you, man. And Agent 87. Jonathan Compella. T-Bird. Hey, T-Bird, you know what? I know I said hello to you already, but good job in the Twitters, man. You're tearing it up in the Twitters. Crypto Gains Club 369. All right, everybody. Better put a motor on the kayak and get that merch then. Yes, whatever that means. Motor on that kayak. Oh, the kayak that Kinetics gets to cross the Pacific with in order to get our merch over here. Yes. So somebody just Wake Dog just said RG3 equals a cross between Axl Rose and Jack Sparrow and R2D2. Sure. But Axl Rose is, well, maybe I am old, fat, and ugly. But anyway, yeah, Axl Rose is old, fat, and ugly. So I don't know if I can take that as a compliment. But thanks a lot, buddy. Thanks a lot. So what an amazing week we've had. We had some cryptos launch. We had some Hexicans out there fighting with each other. We've had some streamers out there apologizing for their actions. We've had Richard out there bashing them. We've had Hexo out there memeing things, and what a great week. So I'm excited. I got to go in a few of the Twitter spaces and rant a little bit with some of you. So for those of you who actually got to go and hear some of those, I've always said that you need to make sure that whatever you're doing in crypto, that you understand that this is a very, very volatile space, and you only invest and play with what you can afford to lose. It's like a weekend trip to Vegas every time you go out there and start playing around. So anyway, with no further ado, I'm going to bring up my partner in crime here, KNTX. What's happening, my man? Oh, look at you. Look at you bringing the quality of the show. You complained about numbers, and you're sitting there eating a bowl of ice cream.
Dude, it's freaking edible cookie dough. How could I say no?
All cookie dough is edible. What do you mean it's edible cookie dough?
Well, I know. Some people have this problem with, it's raw with the eggs in it. That never stopped me before, but this is still delicious.
So what, it has cooked eggs in it?
I guess. I don't know. But just
edible,
so you know, Dorsey,
that's a gimmick, bro. You know it's a gimmick when they say edible cookie dough. All they did is put cookie dough in a bucket and said, here, it's now you can eat it.
It's in a freaking tub and it's edible. And that's all I care about. So I'm eating it. That's what I'm doing, man.
You sure are. Look at you, Mr. Epitome of Health. I'm sitting there like...
It's all about calorie deficit. You work hard enough, you can have some too there, Captain.
Oh yeah, I'm working really hard still. Working really hard. Had a hard go at it this last few weeks because of the back. I threw the back out. I think last time I was streaming, back was out. Cookie dough has vitamin C and D. Yes.
All the more reason I should be eating it.
Vitamin dough and vitamin cookie.
I love it.
Cookie dough has vitamin C and D.
Oh wait, that's just the alphabet, he says. Yes, there is C and D in the alphabet. That is for sure.
So I was able to, well, I don't know. Again, I don't care how much we can and can't talk about on my end, but we had some updates from the highest of stakes. We had Patrick updated us on some things. I don't know how much of it we can really talk about, but
I think we can talk about it. I've been talking with him quite a bit today and yesterday. Real quick, I just got to answer this. I just got to answer this real quick.
What's that?
The answer is all of them, Wake Dog. All of them. So all the awards behind me were bought off of eBay. There's someone else's accomplishments, but
yeah, he asked if I put accomplishments on the wall, so we bought some for him.
Why do you think I hitched my buggy to this old pirate and he's failing me? I thought we'd have more viewers by now. The guy doesn't stream regularly anymore, though.
Well, that's about to change now. So I'm going to be regularly streaming. Well, every Friday, of course, but we no more vacays. The vacays are over. We're done with all that. Everybody's married off, and don't have to worry about dealing with the wedding.
I didn't even tell anyone where you were last week.
Oh,
we just did we did the premiere and just took off. Didn't even talk. That
was great. That was really, really, really great.
That was super cool, man. I loved it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for showing up to watch it. They let us keep it up for an extra day.
Young man.
What we were talking about, that yes, we can talk about it, is we've got some limited edition numbered sets, 555 box sets of the movie, and they are beautiful. Oh my gosh, they are beautiful.
Yeah, collector's box sets of the movie, so that's going to be fun.
Yes, they are. I was like, I want one. I reached out.
I want a couple of them.
Yeah, I reached out to the director right away. I was like, I'll take one. I'll take one right now. So
yeah, shouldn't we like get one? Can't we like get a free one?
Right? Shouldn't we? I think we should.
I hope so. I hope
make
so.
us pay for our own merchandise. So,
yeah. Well. Yeah. All right.
Hey, enough, Hexicon. I'm gonna have to go ahead and time you out. You throw me under the bus. I was throwing you under the bus, and she proceeded to do the same to me. I was saying you don't stream consistently anymore. And she says, either do you, Kinetics at Discourse Syndicate. Wake Up Hex sound familiar?
Yeah, well, you walked out on that one.
I know, I did. So Crypto Ewok, here's the funny thing. There's 555 of these box sets.
Uh-oh.
Number 1, number 69, and number 555 are the most expensive ones in the set. So we're trying to decide.
We're auctioning those off.
Well, kind of. Yes. If you decide you want a different number, you can buy a VIP box and you can get a different number if you really want it.
Just to let you know, you're lagging a little bit tonight.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Camera's fading out and you're lagging a little bit.
Really? Some of your camera's fading now.
Yeah, it's pixelating. Camera's pixelating. And yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Crypto King said he will be there to accept his and thank you. At the premiere, I'm sure.
At the premiere. There you go.
Wherever that may be.
So there's going to be some VIP box sets available, and you get to choose the numbers you want. And we've already the numbers requested have been 1, 369, and 555. Did that come through?
Yep.
Okay. So we're trying to decide. The pricing is going to depend on whether you. I don't even know if I want to dirty solely their hands by allowing you guys to have access to them, but whether the directors will meet you in person is part of we're negotiating on the price there. So if any of you guys are willing to pay more to meet the directors, let us know.
Yeah. Patrick, something else. All right. So on top of that, so the movie, we know the movie was actually done and the edit was done. The final stop edit was done. And now it looks like the music score is about to be finished, which should happen any day now. They're finishing up with the 40-piece orchestra. And as soon as that is done, then the whole movie will actually be 100% complete. And that's happening here really, really soon, like next couple weeks. Mm-hmm. So finished product, movie be done. All the Foley and music will be to it, and it'll be ready. So they just got back from being on location, so they're back hot and heavy on getting the distribution deal taken care of, and they're working on that now. I guess it's kind of a slow process from what we understand. It's not something that just happens right away. There's a lot of negotiations and things that have to be done in the background there. And so that's what they're working on. So in the meantime, we're looking at putting, like you said, this merch thing together. And what else? There was some other stuff that was in there they were talking about. A lot of financial crap, huh? That they were going through. None of that matters. Mm-hmm. We ain't making no damn money.
No, because we opted for more eyes and less money. So that was that's always been the intent, is that the deal we're looking for is the one that puts this movie in front of more eyes. That's all we really care about, honestly.
Yep. And for those of you who have heard me say this a million times already, there may be a new person or two in here that has not heard this, but the movie is done to where it is not a hex movie. It is not about a puff piece on hex. It is a very objective view of the whole system, of the community, of Richard Hart, of crypto itself. And it's viewed from the crypto community itself. It gives its opinion. It's viewed from the Hexican point of view. They give their opinion. It's given from Richard's point of view. He gives his opinion. Some of us influencers are in it, and we give our opinions. And then fraud investigators and financial professors out there in the collegiate world give their opinion and try and poke holes in it. And it's a very objectionable view of the whole system, and lets the viewer, kind of decide for themselves what they think about this whole deal.
Yep. And so Franklin, they're just objective about it. Not throwing poop at anyone, just objective.
Yeah. Come on, the whole crypto space is suspect. For good reason, too. For good reason. Everything sucks. Let's not forget how suck everything is. When something's down 90%, it's hard to say how cool it is. It's not cool right now. Crypto is, everything kind of sucks right now, except for the dollar for some reason. But crypto is suck right now. And Hex is real suck right now because we're in 90-something% dip, right? Mm-hmm. So, hey, one of our other partners in crime, one of the other co-producers of the show got in and helped out and wanted to bring more value to the production. Our buddy Toby, what's happened, Toby Wan?
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
Look at you. You could have at least taken a shower and shaved for the show tonight. Huh?
Well, I'm starting my winter beard, and I'm sequestered to the bedroom because my fiance is entertaining in the rest of the house. So I'm tucked back here with an ice pack on my back and chilling out.
You've been saying fiance for almost
5
years now?
Yeah.
Well, when are you going to make an honest lady out of this woman?
4 more weeks, bro. 4 more weeks.
Give it
4 more weeks.
It depends. My attorney keeps putting me off on the prenup. So as soon as we get that established, then maybe spring.
Smart man, because the laws do not favor the young men getting married these days. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. And I can't advocate more for the benefits of having a healthy relationship. You know what I mean? It's fun when you're young and you're out there chasing skirts, but
when you've got it on paper that it's not about the money, that makes actually a big difference. It's a big weight off your shoulder. Not to mention Hex Luthor says he's still auditing her code. So.
Oh, there you go.
Always. It's triple audited. She's good.
I'm going to push back on Kinetics real quick because you just made a very misogynistic statement, because the law really favors the person who doesn't work, who doesn't contribute to the relationship. Because I've seen some ladies that have had good careers, good jobs with deadbeat husbands. In fact, I have one in my family. And those ladies are leaving the deal having to pay for these suckers. And
that's fair.
The law is favoring the person who doesn't work, who doesn't contribute. And that's what really sucks. Now, probably a majority of it is
but I get to protect. Hey,
right.
I get to defend myself here. You're going to make, if you're going to call me a misogynist, I wasn't trying to be a misogynist.
No, I just said it was a comment.
But I will say that where I come from and the family I came from and the people I'm surrounded with, if you're a worthless bum letting your wife bring home all the bacon and all the cheddar herself, then it's probably worth the price for her to walk away, regardless of what it costs her to not have to be around the bum anymore. So all of you guys out there not pulling your weight in this world and making this world a better place and providing for your wife and your kids, you're a bum and you need to just disappear. So that's all I gotta say about that.
You're a sucker.
That's right.
Hey, I heard you guys talking a little bit about the merch. So I wasn't aware we'd been greenlit to talk about that yet. So you're not getting us in trouble.
We weren't greenlit. Kinetics just let that one fall right out of his mouth.
I'm so long with not telling anyone anything. They just
edible
don't believe
blame me,
anything
man.
I'm saying is happening anymore. So I had to throw it out there.
There's definitely some cool stuff in the works, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping it includes a ticket to the premiere. I think that would be a cool addition, but I don't know that that's been established yet.
Well, I think they could probably have a couple of different packages: a premiere package with the movie itself, or just the movie itself, so that people won't have to get routed into all the whole package. They can get either the deal or.
We've gone back and forth on like 4 or 5 different ways to price this out, and we're just trying to figure out the maximum value for the least amount of price, but while still helping fund some of the efforts going forward till we get this thing sold. So that'd be awesome.
Right. Yeah, and just to clarify, because I know Jim Rat was pushing back a little bit when he had heard that I was a producer on the film, because he's like, he's producing the film. And it's like, just so people understand, like, producer is an honorary title a lot of times for people that are invested in a project, and then thereby their money is helping produce the film. And then there's been consulting that's been done with all of us and getting feedback from us and our opinions about things, because, the highest stakes guys were not crypto savvy before they came into this. So they learned from RG and Kinetics. And then I've had a relationship with them from the beginning. And then I just became officially involved a few months ago. And so, yeah, it's an honorary title. We're obviously not like movie producers yet, maybe in the future, but that is our titles as far as the film goes.
I'll take it. I'll take the honorary.
I'll take it.
I'm happy about it. It's fun.
Any title I can get, I'll take.
Yep.
I do this for the titles. I don't get paid.
Do it for the title. Because it ain't about getting paid. That's for sure.
No. Yeah, most movies do not make money. So it's like, this has definitely been a very altruistic effort from all involved to try to get this thing out there and in front of as many eyeballs as possible. So I'm excited about it. I mean, I know the first 6 minutes that he showed me in one of our early meetings, man, it's like I literally I teared up and got like full body goosebumps. Like, I was like, damn, I'm like, this. They're not messing around.
When me and Kinetics we were in Arizona for one of Robert Kiyosaki's events, and Patrick was like locked up and like hooched up inside this little resort where he was like round the clock editing. He just happened to be in the same town we were. I think he kind of planned it a little bit, and he said, "Hey, you guys, come on down. I want to show you some of the film." And this was before we got to see the first edit and the first premiere for ourselves. And we went down there, and I'm telling you, that's the same with us. We were just like freaking like in tears, like laughing, crying, excited,
Dude, the whole gamut of emotions.
The whole thing of emotions. You're just like, wow, and it was Dude, really cool.
You should have seen the high fives RG and I were giving ourselves as we walked out of there. Yeah, the high fives we were giving each other as we came out of there. We're like, dude, this thing is gonna kill it.
I bet. And I'm sure you guys had the same experience. You probably even saw some earlier cuts, but it's like, I saw like 4 or 5 different versions of the film, and it just seemed like every time that they came out with the next one, it's like it just got better, and like more dialed in. And it's like, and now when they put the music on it, I guess they're recording this weekend, I think is when they start. And man, it's like when they get that score on there, I mean, because think about how many movies, it's like the music, how much that carries the emotion of things. So, I mean, as excited as we are and seeing what we've seen, then you put that score on top of it. I mean, I think it's going to be fantastic. And I really felt like it was a really even-handed, explanation of what crypto is, an introduction to Richard, an introduction to the space. I think it's good for no coiners and noobs that maybe don't fully understand crypto, because, you don't want a documentary that's going to get so in the weeds with the numbers and stuff people gloss over and they lose interest. They really, I mean, obviously, I'm invested, on various levels, but it's like, I think they did a great job of making it a compelling watch, whether someone's in crypto or not. I'm super stoked, man. I can't wait for everyone else to get to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to see it. We've seen it. You haven't. You suck. We're awesome. You gotta see it someday.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I enjoyed seeing the film with you there at Patrick's place more so than I enjoyed seeing the full production, because I don't know, it was something about seeing myself there on the big screen that was just freaking.
It's hard to watch yourself. It is hard to watch yourself.
It was
But
really
there's a lot
my
of clips
family
that
was
we
sitting
saw.
there.
Yep.
My family's
Yeah.
sitting there watching this, my friends, and it was like, oh boy. Yep, that's what I do. Cosplay as a crypto freaking idiot. Yep, that's me.
I thought you were great, man. I was very impressed. I was a little apprehensive at first. I'm like, okay, it's like, I mean, Captain can get pretty far out there. It's like, how are they going to frame him in this film? And it's like, I thought the way that they edited you and the pieces that they used with you in it, I thought was really, really good. I'm happy to be behind the camera. I'm happy to be out of the view of the viewers. I'll leave that to people that are more charismatic, and but I think it was great. I mean,
I'm with you on
of course
that.
we can't talk about other people that are in the film, but
I told him from the beginning, I said, I don't have any interest in being in the movie itself. And I'm not a compelling and exciting character like Big K and RG3. So, so I'm glad they listened. I would have just brought the whole production down.
Well, I beg to differ. I think that your interview with Richard was freaking solid, dude. You do solid interviews. And
thanks, man.
And I think that having you as part of it and being in the next one should be, par for the course, because the next one probably is going to come. I think a sequel is due. I think we should have a sequel.
In order. Yep.
I think it's in order. And to come in a bull market. So let's just say this one launches at the beginning of the bull, at the end of the bear, and we get to ride on that for 6-8 months, and then go out and maybe film another one, and then launch it in the middle of the bull. That would be very, very, very nice to see what's happened from where we're at, because I mean, the film goes all the way into the bear market. I mean,
yep,
it shows you us bull running like crazy, crazy freaking meetups. Everybody's showing big ass wallet clips and stuff. And then boom, we hit the bear, and the film ends in the bear and says, hey, look at where we're at now. So, seeing it flip over.
Not in those exact words, guys. I promise. It's a little more eloquent than that.
Well, yeah,
there's a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers to it. It's like, I really enjoyed the subplots. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we can't give too much away, but it's like, I just think the way that they wove the stories through the personal aspects, the math, the financial system as we know it, just all, I mean, I really think they hit all the marks, to really keep it a compelling personal story, as well as a broader story about, finance and the future of finance. And then, of course, part of the story is false, because, that's what's coming next. So, I mean, I've just imagined like the perfect scenario where the timing will be such that, Richard finishes up with the pulse chain, and it comes out right on the heels of this movie launching. And it's just like the perfect synchronicity because if Pulse is already out when the movie happens, then people are going to feel, I think, a little gypped, like, damn, it's like I wanted to get in on that at the beginning. So I think the perfect timing, and I don't think Richard would hold off for the film. I think he's going to release it when it's ready. But if just by chance it were to release, right after the film, that would be the perfect storm, because people would have an opportunity to take their shot at 10,000x gains and get into all of it.
I was thinking about this after listening to Cabana and Randy last night talk about this. I started thinking, I think, a week or two before the movie comes out, Pulse Chain launching, so it's already live. So people watching this documentary have the chance to jump in right away after they do their Google search and find out, hey, Richard Hart created Pulse also, and it's live. And there's another chance to jump on. I personally think that would be the ultimate timing, but it doesn't matter if it's right before, at the same time, or right after. I think it would really carry Pulse Chain adoption forward, because I have a feeling millions of eyes are going to see this.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be wild. You know, it's like, I mean, I'm as
movie, that's for sure.
I mean, I'm as bummed out as anybody being down 90 some %. You know, it's like I never took any profits. I just kept throwing more money at it, like, you know, all last year and even up until last week. It's like I'm still just throwing everything I can scrounge at it. And, you know, but you know, knowing what I know about this movie and the timing and everything, and plus it's like, even with this shift recently where, you know, Richard, you know, kind of divulged on Hexo's stream that they're going to be copying ETH 2.0, it's a better move. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just a better move because then you're.
Well, why not add the extra features, right? I mean,
absolutely. And then you're there for all the improvements and all the sharding and all the stuff going forward. And I don't think it's going to take a lot more than, you know, time wise as to what they've already done. I don't think it's like they've scrapped it and now they have to start over, which is like, I've heard people kind of bickering like, oh no, we're back to square one. No. It's like, I think a lot of that carries over. I mean, I'm not a developer. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming that, you know, the progress they've made is not wasted by any means. And it's just a matter of kind of, you know, adding the extra elements to do the ETH2 copy. And it's just going to make it that much better.
Oh boy. Guys, I think we're about to change the subject.
Right now is a good chance for me to reset my computer and try to get a better internet connection.
Yeah,
I'll be right
your
back.
computer because I'm gonna bring him in right now.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Count Jocula. What is going on, my dude? What is happening?
Good evening, everybody.
Oh,
no.
You're not charmed
Welcome
by
to
my charismatic personality.
What are you?
I need all of you to generate some bots. Lots of bots.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. The subject of the week.
No, wait, sir. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Are you talking about, it's Halloween? So are you talking about bats or
No,
bots?
Bots. It's all
Bots.
about the bots.
The bots.
Oh, that's not an accent. Those are bots, not bats. What are you doing with bots, Count Jocula?
You run up the gas fees with the bots.
Oh, you're running up gas fees. For what?
It'll be fantastic.
For what?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
For the future.
Well, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Johnny, you crack me up, bro.
There's a great meme stuff out on Twitter.
I mean, I would say maybe the best educator in the Hex community. I mean, the guy is just relentless on Twitter. The little short video clips are always so educational and entertaining. I'm not trying to like kiss your ass, Johnny, but it's like you've done just such a great job, you know, keeping entertaining, staying on point, keeping people in the right direction, keeping it fun. And the thing is, even like with the character, you know, it's like, you know, RG and I were talking about this before the stream, and it's like I was on Corey Costa the other night about, you know, the unification of the space, and like nobody needs to be taking this shit so seriously and really genuinely hating on each other. And, you know, adding some humor to it, I think kind of diffuses that. That's a really good way to do it, to just kind of like, you know, there's no sense that people need to be going at each other's neck over a choice that they're making, whether we think it's stupid or not. You know what I mean? Like,
vampires like next, man.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like everyone knows what I would do.
Everybody deserves criticism for making mistakes or for doing something stupid or, you know, going after somebody else or whatever. I mean, it's all open and fair game. Unfortunately, not everybody should have a platform. Just because, you know, you do have a platform that you can speak on, just because you can turn on a camera and turn on a mic doesn't necessarily mean you should. I'm a perfect example of that. And, you know, you gotta, when you get into this community. So here's my hang up with all this stuff that's going on out there. I have always been accountable and very careful with my position. I've never acted like I've known more than I know. And I've never presented more than anybody should need to know here. All I've ever said here is that Hex is the GOAT. Hex was the thing. that I streamed for. Hex is the thing that I know is solid, beyond compare. No other crypto can touch it. In fact, I don't think any other monetary system can touch Hex. And that's my message to the world. And that's what I'm trying to get out there. Now, anything else, as far as I'm concerned, is risk and garbage. The only other crypto that I've ever spoke to here is because of one thing. So I talk about Bitcoin because Bitcoin proved a concept that you can send money peer-to-peer outside of the banking system over the internet safely and securely without a double spend. That's what Bitcoin proved. Ethereum proved that this cryptocurrency stuff can be programmed. So I talk about those two because of their accomplishments. It's all they accomplished. They haven't done anything really since then. And they haven't done anything other than prove those concepts for the whole crypto community at large. Everything else has been speculation and bullshit. Everything else has been all of our fault for grandiosing everything and making everything so valuable when it really wasn't. Bitcoin isn't, and Ethereum isn't. Now Hex comes. Hex comes and builds on the theory that, hey, we could program this stuff to be better money, and Hex is better money. Richard did it. There is no need for any other cryptocurrency to be created. Now, there are other things that can be built on Hex to make the monetary system work better. We need to take fiat products and introduce them to the crypto world. Hex and the T-share allows you to do so. Now, the only other crypto that I've given any props to, and I've talked about any at all, is Hedron. Now, why did I say that? Why did I say anything about Hedron? Not because I think Hedron number go up and Hedron's great and go invest in Hedron. Hedron proved another concept that you can build on Hex, that you can take the T-share and safely and securely turn it into a fiat financial product pulled from the real world and brought into the crypto space. That's what Hedron proved as a concept. So my hat is off to Alex for creating that concept proof. Not because he created a great crypto and it should be worth a bunch and you should all invest in it. He proved a concept. So that's all we've ever shilled on around here is those things that have proved themselves, that have made crypto a better space, that have improved Hex. And, you know, other than Hex, I don't, and pulsechain isn't here. PulseX isn't here. I hope they're going to be great. I'm, excited about them because I know what Richard Hart has done with Hex, and but they're not here yet. So all I really can talk about is Hex. And right now, mark my words, anything that you spend $1 on today, go and check what would have been that dollar if you would have put it into Hex and staked it instead of going out and spending $1 on anything else out in the world right now. Anything else. Because the bull market is coming. It's coming. And these 3-cent prices, 2-cent prices, maybe even 1-cent prices are going to go away. And we all here know that. We know what is about to happen. We know that cycles come and cycles go. And we're at this point of another cycle and we're getting ready to hit the top of another one. Once it happens, you're going to all be wishing that you would have took those dollars and put them into 3-cent Hex versus anything else out there. So mark my words, guys. You're going to remember these days and go, damn, I should have took those dollars and put it into Hex then. Right now. T-shares are cheap right now. T-shares are cheap for the dollar right now. You should be buying T-shares because T-shares are the GOAT. Remember, we used to all talk about T-shares. So much we talked about T-shares. Kareem, all he ever did was talk about the importance of T-shares. My first streams were about finding out what the importance of T-shares were. I knew that the T-share was the GOAT, that the T-share was the thing you want to get. When we were getting ready for big payday, T-shares were so important. And I had a little chat with some people today about this. T-shares were so important that we use the emergency end stake button to emergency end stake our stakes so that we can get more T shares before big payday came.
Yep.
We did that. Now Johnny turned his camera off because Johnny used to give me so much shit for that. But I was right, Johnny. You know I was right. I was right at that point. And you were banging me about, no, nobody should hit that.
That's not the point I bang you about. The point I bang you about is there's absolutely no purpose in setting a stake you don't intend to honor. So when you're talking about taking stakes off that are 15, well, I'll just take one of those stakes off the wall. Well, it doesn't matter. You might as well just stake it for 7.5 years if you plan on ending it at 7.5 years.
Well, it's not about planning.
Anything that you stake pre-big payday, you're not getting that big payday bonus anyway if you end it sooner. So
but it won't matter if Hex is at $5 or $10.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could have staked it like you meant to stake it to begin with, and then you wouldn't undo all of your progress that you made.
You just want everybody to follow the rules, Johnny, and I'm not one of them.
Because the game can't be gamed. That's the whole point of Hex. The game is not going to be gamed. If you set terms that you can't honor and you end it before the term, you are the one getting gamed. That is how the system is designed.
But not if it's worth $15 or $20 million and it was only worth $300, $400, $500.
But you undo any of the progress that you occurred. It doesn't make any sense. You might as well say it
makes lots of sense when you're an old man and you want that money.
Then you shouldn't take that long to begin with because you're just going to undo your progress anyway. The system does not allow you to benefit from staking a 15-year stake and forfeiting all your interest. But go ahead, forfeit me your interest.
It's not the system. It's number go up. And that's the problem with crypto, period. So anyway.
It's both.
It's
both,
a trading
guys.
mentality.
It's both. But Johnny hit the nail on the head. The system accounts for that too, because if you do make that choice to do that, then you're just paying out the rest of the stakers. So, so it swings back around.
That's a beautiful thing. Why wouldn't we be talking about doing that?
I think Johnny's right that the ultimate play is the way that he promotes it. And that's the way to follow the letter of the law. But there, I can see there's edge cases, like pre-big payday where, that could have made sense in various situations. I had some stakes that were really, really tiny that basically it wasn't going to make sense for me to hang on to those. And likely have them cost more to end stake. So I actually back in like June, so it was well before big payday that I consolidated those. So it made sense for me to do that. But here's the thing, when you start fucking around with that early end stake button, you can do something really dumb like I did. And I was in a hurry. And one of the stakes that I ended was not the one I intended to end. And I lost I lost 73,000 hex, which, doesn't seem like that much at that point. And it wasn't. But now forever, it is on my staker app in my ended stake section, and it tells me how much that thing would have been worth just to taunt me with it, So it's like you just, it's best, to it's the truth engine, right? It's like you stake, you honor the commitment that you put in, and that's the ultimate way to do it. And then, and then my thing, it's like I'm 100% with Captain. I obviously, I've put in a ridiculous amount of money and time into Hex, and I think it's the best thing going. It's fully at least 95% of my crypto holdings, and and all of that actually right now is staked. I have some stuff coming out later this month, but it'll just get restaked like I always do.
Right?
But the thing that I try to do, because I'm a middle path guy, I'm trying to keep like Captain RG and Johnny and guys like that and Kennex, they're going to yell at you and tell you it's got to be this way, and that's good, and there's a place for that. My thing is I have a psychology degree. I am a natural born mediator. It's like I'm trying to keep conversations open. So I always feel like if you come at somebody too hard right off the rip, they put up their defenses and the conversation's over. So you're never going to convince them why your thing is better than their thing. And especially if you're talking to someone that's already in crypto, everyone I've tried to onboard that's already in crypto, they want to tell me about the crypto they have that's going to change the world, that's going to make so much money, that's going to make them rich. And they're fucking wrecked. And it's like, I'll look at their crypto, I'll listen to them yammer on about it for a while, and then I'll slowly start to show them and teach them about Hex. Sometimes I will give them a little bit of Hex so they can watch what happens with it and learn how to use it. And that, for me personally, has worked way better at getting people over onto Team Hex than coming at them hard. But there's a place for all of it. There's a place for all of it. Not everybody can be like the nice middle path guy. There needs to be some people that are beating the drum. Like Hex is it. Hex is the only way. I get it.
I
but
think
it's
the
like
problem is, Toby, that
I got
people
no
haven't been
patience
here.
for freaking stupidity.
Captain will be your Huckleberry.
I got no patience for it.
People haven't been around long enough to know that crypto in actuality is default fail. Because Hex is new, when Hex came out, we told people that it was new. So then they got new stuck in their head. So now they think, and they heard Richard say, well, doesn't something that start out lower tend to go up more? Oh, okay, unit bias. Things that are smaller and have more units go up faster. Oh, new, smaller, faster. Everything new and smaller goes up faster. Let's dump our Hex and run over there. No. Everything in crypto is generally default fail. Most of it doesn't work. And the reason why is because the crypto space for years has done nothing more than copy off each other's homework, repackage, repurpose, resolicit, and resell you the same garbage they've been making for years and not trying to make any improvements to it whatsoever. So when the maxis
shell games,
when the maxis were upset because Hex was out and they said it's a scam, they had a 99.999% chance of being right. It was the absolute safest bet, safest argument they could have made. Because if Hex had been any other cryptocurrency, they would have been right.
But then they ran into us.
The odds.
Great way to put it.
They were playing the odds.
And they were playing the odds with the solo cups. Like that little video you did with the solo cups was perfect. It was absolutely accurate because so many people think that that the next big thing's right around the corner. No, there's going to be thousands of missteps, thousands of missed guesses, and then you're going to find the one like we have and we can attest to with Hex. And then like just another little piece to add in there that I actually posted on Twitter. I got a little bit of traction on it, and I did it a long time ago too, but I felt like it was important to bring back out. A lot of the argument I get now, especially with new onboards, is like, well, Hex already did its 10,000x. It's like, no. It's like we're down 95%.
It didn't do it 6 million x.
First of all, they don't get that, Toby, because everything doesn't do a 10,000x either. And now they think everything does a 10,000x too. Wrong. 4 coins. Yep. 4 coins in the history of crypto have ever done a 10,000x.
Yep.
If you expect the next thing is going to do a 10,000x because it's the next thing, you are wrong. You are going to lose your ass. And then the next thing that they say is, guess what? Well, if I would have been closed-minded, I wouldn't have gotten to Hex. Now I have to be automatically open-minded to every shitcoin that is shoved down my throat. No, that's not how it is either. Oh, Hexicans are treating every other project like maxis do.
Yeah.
Because the maxis were actually right to be skeptical.
They were.
Hex survived the maximum amount of scrutiny that any crypto has ever received in the history of all of crypto.
100%.
And it still did a 10,000x. If your coin cannot be subjected to scrutiny and criticism and it fails, that's your coin. That's not the evil maxi Hex people. That's people that actually have experience in the space and know the difference where you don't yet. Because that's what's really frustrating to me, because now that has become the defense. Oh, the OGs don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to be like them. Why the hell do people think we're here?
That's bullshit.
Is it because we need Hex to go up like to $150 or whatever? Is that gonna, dude? It just becomes another zero to us. It's the fact that there's all this other garbage out here that's being crammed down everybody's throat, and Hex was supposed to be delayed gratification, saving for your future self. Taking that money that you claim that you don't need and not throwing it away and burning it and setting it on fire, but to save it for your future. So yes, it frustrates me when I see people, oh, well, it's just gas fees. Well, those just gas fees, $1 would have made you $10,000 in Hex if you would have been brave enough back then.
Yep. I tell you what, there's two things I want to point out here. One of the things that I would show on boards in real life, I'd show them my staker app, and I'd show them a stake that I had that was 15 months long. It started out in December of 2019. It ended in March of 2021, 15 months. The cost basis on that particular stake was $76. Now, here's the tricky part. Because Staker app is always showing you the current value of that hex, it varies as far as what it's worth. So just recently, when I showed them that $76 is still, with hex at 3 cents, the equivalent of that hex is worth $145,000 from a $76 investment. And there's people that have blown at least that much on gas chasing shiny objects. So they don't understand. And then the counterpoint that I'll get from them is like, well, if you're at 3 cents and we get back to all-time high, that's only a 16x. Here's how I combat that. That's pretty damn good, but check this out. In Zurich, Richard admitted, and I clipped it and I put it, check out my Twitter. I'll drop it in the private chat if you guys want to pull it up and look at it. There's a little segment that he talks about, and he says, hey, because of the optics, it was better for me to go from all-time low to all-time high to say, yes, we hit our 10,000x. And Maddie and everybody was screaming from the rooftops, 56 cents, 56 cents is 10,000x. And then sure as shit, what happened? Everybody and their brother front ran it. I had a limit order to sell at one point, and I pulled it down because I thought, nah, it's going to keep going long term. Why am I going to sell? This is stupid. Hindsight. But, at the time, everyone was counting on that to be the key. And then what happened? It became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Richard in Zurich says that's not a 10,000x from launch. We had at least another 10x to go. His own words from Zurich. I have a clip up from his Zurich meetup. It's like not even a minute long where he discusses that. So if you do the math on that and you go back and you look at what the launch price was and a 10,000x from that, Hex is like $20 to $30. $20 to $30. We're nowhere near that yet. So from here, 3 cents to $30 is a 1,000. Yeah, right. It's $1,000. It's 1,000x from here, plus your yield. So people thinking like, oh, my upside's limited. I could do a 10,000x on the next coin or 10,000x on the next coin. Do you want to go into something that's proven, that's likely to do another 1,000x from here and have yield on top of that year over year? I don't know. Do the math, bro.
Bitcoin
what do you guys think?
What we have. Right. Bitcoin had none of what we have in its early years.
Zero.
If you look at a Bitcoin conference in 2011, their meetups or their conventions, they're talking to an empty room. We are only going on 3 years old, and our year one convention makes their year one conventions. I mean, it's you just go back and look at history. One of our influencers has more views than the Bitcoin conferences of back then, because everybody is in the current. Nobody goes back and does research anymore. Everybody stays in the current. So they look at, well, this is what the views are. This is, this is normal. But if you try to go back and watch those old videos, they didn't get no views. Less than 1,500 views on a Bitcoin conference.
And they ain't got no pirates left. They're pirates in jail.
And it's a 10-year-old video. Yeah, and their pirates are in jail.
Sorry, bud.
But I mean, there's so much here, really, because some of these narratives have been adopted and twisted. New is better, unit bias. People still don't understand the rarity that is Hex, and the fact that what makes Hex different is the fact that Richard's in a position that no other founder has really been in, because everybody that's starting a coin is trying to generate money. Richard's trying to generate a legacy. He's trying to build something that nobody has ever built before. This is about building something in a way where he, it's his masterpiece for him.
Yep. It's
his reputation. It's everything to him that this succeeds. He has everybody in the world wanting to point their fingers at him, and they want to see him fail. And in spite, he wants nothing more than to succeed and have unlimited bragging rights for the rest of his entire existence and shove it back in these people's faces. See, that's how it's done. That's what he wants. And he's in a position where he can do that because, like I said, he's already got more money than he can possibly spend. People want to argue that point. Fine. There's $2 billion that were sacrificed for Pulse and PulseX. You know, to spend that money, you have to spend $1 million a week for the next 40 years. You get that? $1 million a week for the next 40 years to spend $2 billion. You got that? He does not need to sell a hex ever. Just that money alone. Nothing else. Nothing what he had. Nothing. You know, look, this is the concept. People don't understand that sometimes people build things to build. To be able to say, look at that. I made that. That's mine. And that's Richard. Everybody else, they're trying to do some kind of money grab. They're trying to use it as a business. They're trying to make money. He is trying to make a point. And that is one of the biggest things that sets the difference. The other thing is, in the crypto space, any change of logo and a cut and paste code to do to make money, these lazy bastards haven't tried to do any better than that because they haven't needed to. Do you think we'd have ETH 2.0 right now if it weren't for the fact that they were concerned that Pulse was going to come out and beat them to market with a proof of stake? You wouldn't have gotten a 2.0. They'll still probably be kicking it around, thinking about eventually coming out with it because there was no urgency to do so.
I got a lot of shit for saying that.
Competition motivates people to do what they need to do. They were forced into a position where they needed to push that out. They needed to make a statement. And now that they have, guess what? We can go on our way. They've actually helped us out. They've helped us closer to our goal. They've come up with a consensus that Richard's team was struggling with, and now we're going to get that consensus. So guess what? We motivated them, and we're still and they helped us out. Yeah. That's what's up.
So I want to play this clip. Since Toby brought it up, I think it's a great time for us to play this here.
And what if we measured from Hex's start price, which is actually an extra 10x because it dipped 95% during the launch phase during the first month. So there's an extra 10x if you want it. You just measure from a month earlier instead of from the actual bottom. So we're measuring, I choose to measure from the very bottom because I'm looking at like what's the maximum ROI. And maximum ROI is you bought the bottom and sold the top. And the bottom is somebody got filled on that wick. The trade occurred there. But you could also just measure it from start point. And then we would complain about that earlier because it would make our ROI look less. Now that the ROI is to a point where people are allergic to it, because you sound weird, it's like up 1,000,000%. Yeah. Before staking, it's up like 2,000,000% with staking. Right. People are like, what? It just breaks their head. Like they don't realize like this really happened. It's really still happening. We're up 400,000% right now, or more, or something, like just some really large numbers. Yeah. So you could subtract out some of those percents if you wanted to by measuring from day one, day one's AA. And what if we measured from?
I just got to point this out. When we get to here, watch this.
Percent. Yeah. Before staking, it's up like 2,000,000%.
I think.
Right now.
Is this guy been drinking or something? I mean, he does not look happy back here.
So
he's meeting Richard Hart, and he is just not happy. No, this guy in the hat.
He's high on the alpha.
It looks green. It looks a little green over there, doesn't he?
A little green around the gills.
So I don't like to get into the moon math of things, but Richard picked 10,000x because he knew it was possible. Just like he makes predictions that he knows is possible. And when everybody heard 10,000x before Hex, okay, when you said that your coin was going to do 10,000x, it was preposterous. It was inconceivable for it to happen. People were just absolutely, it's impossible. Tone and his lawyer buddies running around, it's impossible. He's crazy. He's out of, well, it did a 10,000x. And you know what?
And Richard said that was conservative. That if he would have said what he really, if he would have really thought,
you really wouldn't have believed him.
He said they really wouldn't have believed him.
And people right now, there's probably some people even in our chat that still don't think it's going back up over $1. Dude, that's just a 2x over last all-time high. How many pennies? How many dollars do you want to buy for pennies? Seriously. Do you think it's inconceivable for Hex to do a 2x over all-time highs? I wouldn't bet against that. That's insane. But let's just look at this for a second. Since the crypto space is lazy and they don't build anything except recycling of narratives, and they're not really trying to make any headway because they haven't really been rewarded for that, when literally they can slap anything together and slap a sticker on it and dumbasses will buy it. That's what they're rewarded for. Any shiny object they put in front of you, people, you buy it. And you know what? Hexicans, we got tested too. People sold Hex for gas money to buy a coin that mints infinitely. Okay? You guys did. Oh, it wasn't that much. But cumulatively, it was a lot. Okay? It was an intelligence test. Most people, it's like this whole thing that was made was like anti-Hex principles all the way around. You couldn't have spit more in the community's face if you tried. Literally designing something that was based on all of the misconceptions of Hex at its conception, all the arguments that the haters had, all the confusion, all those elements of where they said, well, you just make coins out of nothing. What's the point? Who's going to buy it? Where's the buy pressure? And Jack just proved to y'all that it doesn't matter. He also proved to y'all that you will drop all of your principles for the next shiny object and run right in and get it. We just had asses made out of us, right?
Well, I don't.
And then what happens when we speak up about it? You guys attack us. You attack us.
Conceivable. Just had to throw the inconceivable out there real quick.
You attack us because we're trying to say, hey, guys, something's going on here. And you're like, no, you stupid maxis, you stupid OGs, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, I was telling Captain earlier, it's like, man, I don't want to do these shows anymore. I don't want to get into this stuff anymore because I'm so disappointed because I really thought we had such a strong ethos. And somebody from the outside walks right in, and like the Pied Piper, everybody follows him off a cliff.
I think the problem is that the ethos isn't being reiterated by us all enough.
Well, I think
that we've dropped the ball on the ethos or the moral turpitude of our integrity here as Hexicans, and that's where and let's face it, the new crowd that's coming in right now to Hex is coming in a bear market.
They want bears now. They don't understand that it took 2 years to get here.
Yep.
Well, it took 3 years for us to get to Hex, and then it took us 2 years to get here. So it took us 5 years to really get where we're at today.
That's true.
This wasn't.
I can't believe, that's hard to believe. We're 5 years deep in this. At least
we are.
I know at least 4, if not all 5 of us here are.
Well, that's
but they're in for 1 year and they're like, oh man, this sucks. I just can't take it. It's like, no, well, this is the part you have to go through. This is the suck that you have to go through to get the reward.
The 4 weeks sucked. Waiting for Hex to launch sucked. That sucked. Yes. We had 3 years of waiting and Richard just talking.
DB Cooper, you are right. In my opinion, I agree with you. I think RH could handle the ball a little better at this point too. But that doesn't mean it's not going to come back and exceed people's expectations.
But I think, Ken, we have to look at that we are Hex now. Richard made an immutable contract, sent it into the wild, and then
my name is not fucking Negan. Don't call me that again.
So the difference is that like we are Hex now. We are the community that built it. We are the one that weathered through the times. We are the one that trained. We are the one that does everything. And I love what Johnny was doing with his cup analogy earlier. But if you take, and I think Johnny, you'll love this, the Carney Strongman game. They basically put the fulcrum of the pin closer to you and then put the pad further away from where you hit it. So if you take that big strongman game where you take the hammer, if you nip the tip of the beginning of that, you'll hit the bell every time. And that's what a proper walled garden mechanic system gives us. And that's what we have. We use the tools to our advantage, whereas everyone else duct tapes things onto cups that they spin around being like, look at me, where did it go? We actually have mechanics that allow us to not only build on top of that same ecosystem of a T-share, but utilize the trustless, uncorruptible part that makes our community the best. And that's what
we got to use analogies that the rest of the world understands in order for them to understand.
Wow.
I think you lost like 90% of the audience.
Yeah, but you understand the Carney strongman game, that basically if you nip the tip of the pole, you hit the bell every time. They move the pad further towards the fulcrum. That it doesn't matter how strong you are, it'll never nip the tip. It'll never bring the bell, and it makes even the strong.
So I'll make it real
so you're
simple.
Saying,
you buy other
so
random shit, you ain't getting nowhere. Okay, there's a reason Hex is designed the way that it's designed, and you have to use it correctly. And it's funny because everybody comes along and they think, okay, let's take some parts out of this engine. Let's take some parts out of this engine and make it run faster. Yeah, that works.
It's like removing wheels on a car. You need all the wheels where they're supposed to be to make it work based on what you're doing. You can't just remove core components and then expect it to operate better because you removed something or you innovated by putting a block instead of a wheel on a car. Be like, look, it's new. It's different.
Unacceptable!
We've
turned into the morning show.
I know. I got to give some credit to Toby. He sent me that. So I put that in the private chat. I just had to put it up there real quick.
Yeah, it's
Thanks, Bob the guy, for the 555. Sorry, 1 million.
I mean, I get it. I get how upsetting all this can be, because it's like it does feel like, someone's kind of attacking our baby. And we spent that time. We spent all these years now like learning and understanding. It's like T-shares are almost boring to us now. The problem I see is that people are taking advantage of that learning curve, and people that don't fully understand it are chasing these shiny objects and unwittingly, possibly, getting their follower counts that have been substantial that they've gained from, a Hexican following, led astray to these other things, and without fully understanding that they're not comparing apples to apples. Correct. That's why I think, if everyone out there understood at the level that Johnny does and that we do, then it would be a no-brainer. There would really be nothing else to discuss. So I get it, but we're in the perfect storm. It's a bear market. People are bored. Things are going sideways. They don't fully understand the long-term implications of what you could do getting into Hex at these levels. And I mean, think about it. Buy Hex at 3 cents, stake it, earn an average APY of 30-some%. There are people that can get in right now that could be in a better position than some OGs. They don't do the math. A 40% APY is fucking fantastic.
Toby, some of the streaming we've got going on right now is so reminiscent of the 2017 birth of the influencers.
Yep.
Because a broke clock can be right twice a day.
Yep.
It can be absolutely broken, but it's right twice a day. And we've got people that have made one right choice. They chose Hex. They chose the Hex community. And now they think they're experts because of their one success. And now they think they can do anything. They can take on the world. They're unstoppable. It's like, it's like the dude that gets into one fight and he wins that fight, and now he thinks he's a badass, right? And then he realizes, like that he doesn't realize, like, the guy that he fought, like, couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag, It's like, I'm the winner, I'm the winner. I won once. Yay me. And I can take on the world. And then somebody just knocks him right the fuck out, And that's what it comes down to, right? So if you get this false sense of confidence because you won once, that does not make you an expert on all things, right?
Yeah.
And there are people in the community that do have life experience and are trying to share that with you. And if you want to spit in people's faces for trying to try to calm you down from some of the hype, then, you know, you deserve the wreck you get. Plain and simple. But you should. My whole point for doing this was, first of all, I never wanted to be a personality. I never wanted the spotlight. I never wanted anything shine down on me, right? I wanted to provide people with the tools to discern for themselves the difference between things that work and the common sense and logic that it takes to analyze that and go, is this right? And again, I am still pissed off about this Zen thing because, you know, it's like so frustrating for me that here's something that is hyperinflationary, and Hex is a deferred inflationary model, a masterful, designed, deferred inflationary model that has never existed in all of crypto before. And then it said, oh, let's do the opposite of that. Let's make a hyper inflationary model and give coins to everybody so they can continuously sell on your head for all time's sake. And then let's make sure that it's critically vulnerable that somebody who's running a validator can literally mint as much coins as they want for no gas fee while you are paying gas fees and burning that money that you could be saving for your future self. Let's just do that. You know, and what do people do? Let's go. You know?
I feel you, bro. I feel you. You know, I mean, and I understand the upset, and that's in me too. You know, my thing is like I'm just trying to speak to those other people that get turned off when they're getting their hands slapped that hard by the OGs. You know what I mean? Because it's like even though we're right, and even though we know we're right, and we know the math backs it up, and if they did their own research, they'd come to their own conclusions, but they haven't. So it's like my tack is just to try to not come at them quite so. Don't do the frontal attack. You know, I try to like keep the conversation going and hope to God that they learn. And, you know, it could very well be like a lot of us where we had to get burned a lot on bad choices.
I still got people in my comments saying, oh, you're going to regret saying any of this bad stuff about Zen in 3 years. It's like, dude, you know how it didn't even last a week. 3 years. Jesus.
Right. Well, and the other thing, it's like, you know, not to be like the King Optimus silver lining guy, but I'm going to do it anyhow. Here's something to think about. All right. So let's say that this thing has all these eyeballs, all this traction, all this talk. Months down the line, it's already launched on the other chains that it's going to launch on. So now months down the line, maybe a month, maybe 6, I don't know. pulsechain comes out. It gets copied over to pulsechain, and people can come over there and start minting for fractions of a penny. All of that is eyeballs on the pulse and Richard.
I am so thrilled that we got stuff to congest every fucking network that we got. I'm so happy that someone decided to create a coin that is literally a DOS attack. You know, I'm so glad that somebody that wants to watch the world burn and laughing at you right now because you're dumb enough to even participate in this thing that he created. You know, because some people don't have good intentions. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Do you not remember? Burn your Lambo, Richard. It'd be funny. Hey, watch me burn the whole entire crypto space just for shits and giggles. Hey, guess what? I'm going to let you participate with me. Let's all burn down the crypto space by DOS attacking it with as much gas fees as we can spam. How do you feel about your Uniswap fees right now? Are you feeling good? You feeling good about your Uniswap gas costs? You feeling good about your end stakes? You feeling good about your start stakes? You feeling good about moving money from wallet to wallet with those extra fees tacked on there because somebody invented something that absolutely adds more inefficiency to the Ethereum network? That makes you feel good? Congratulations. Make sure you do your part. Drum up your bots too so you can sell a coin that's practically absolutely worthless so that you can screw up the networks. Go ahead. Keep on doing that. Great.
Johnny, I got a question. Is there, I mean, you're nailing it like always, and I don't disagree with a single thing. Do you see anything from this that could potentially be net positive?
Yeah. Dumbasses will learn to fucking listen when people are talking.
There you go.
That was coming.
There you go. Because the thing is how many of us got wrecked in 17 or before then? I got in 17. I got wrecked. A lot of people got wrecked.
I did leverage trading. I did a lot of fun stuff back then. Yeah. And that's why I'm here telling you, don't leverage trade.
Johnny
save
stuck
for your
his
future.
private
Don't try to
keys
play
in
whale
lots of
games.
holes.
Don't try to chase pumps. Don't sell your whole fucking bag and think you're going to buy it back for
and that's why I didn't say
some idiot says it's going down to a penny. So you wait for a penny
hammer
that never happened.
As much as Johnny has. I'm just as disappointed. But I'm not hammering everybody because I know that there's a bunch of people out there that are feeling bad about it. And Johnny has every right to say, "Oh, you idiots! I tried to tell you." We were all out there trying to build our bags in 16, 17, and we all got wrecked by everything out there too. Now, again, I take it upon myself as being somebody who didn't say enough out there to say, "Hey, if you're gonna throw something at something that's got a 90% chance of failure, then it better be 90% chance of failure money that you're throwing at it.
Yep.
Don't be putting your bag out there that you're trying to build or your future wealth that you're trying to build. If you got a little bit of spending money, whatever, go throw it at stuff." And
that's kind of where I'm at. So here's the deal, guys. Some of the guys I've seen
to increase that inefficiency on the Ethereum network. Do your part, guys.
No, that's not the point here. I'm very freedom minded, and if people have free cash to throw at wasting their gas to mint this coin, fucking go help yourselves. I don't care. That's up to you. I've got no feelings one way or the other. I don't care if that coin goes to zero. I don't care if it does a 10,000x. I really don't have feelings one way or the other about it. And the reason why is because I made a few wallets and I did it with throwaway money that I didn't care if I ever saw that money ever again. But if you guys are here making, $2,000-$3,000 a month, and you can only afford $500 a month in investing in crypto in the bear market, now you better watch yourselves, guys. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're trying to play these stupid games like that, you need to go with the tried and true and something that's been here, has market fit, a walled garden, trustless, permissionless. Those are the things you really need to be looking at in those positions. So that's
because if you lose on it, it'll blow you out. It'll blow you 100%. Out of here. You'll want to get out of crypto.
You'll never want to come back again.
Advantage.
I wanted to quit.
You won't get it.
I wanted to quit crypto altogether, and I had quit crypto altogether. I was done until Hex came out. That's where I was. That's how disappointed I was with the overall crypto space. I became very familiar with the fact that the influencers were, a broken clock, right? Once or twice a day. And, I became very aware that there were no experts in this field. There were people that promoted things, but they weren't experts. And I started to see things for what they really were. And I've heard all of the narratives. And you know what? Every 3 years, you hear the same narratives all over again, like there's something new. Don't you know? Banks are going to use XRP. Don't you know? Banks are going to adopt it. It's going to be the next MoneyGram. Don't you know? It happens. You hear the same narratives 3 years later, and you're like, oh my God, they're going to do this. And you hear the next person say it, and they're repeating it because it's new to them. It's new to them. Yep. It's new to the next generation that's coming in. Yep. The people that already got wrecked by it, they've already left. So they're not here. They're not sticking around to tell you that this has been repeated over and over and over and over again. They're not here. They're mad. They quit. They rage quit. They left. They ain't here to tell you. And it works. So these narratives keep getting recycled. These use cases keep getting recycled. How many goddamn hourglass games are you people going to play? How many bad copies of Proof of Weak Hands are you guys going to play? How many copies you going to play? Oh, but this time it's different. Yeah. Yeah. I heard that the last 5 times. Show me something new.
It's just like they recycle the same movies and the same stories over and over again without innovation. It's all the same until something different comes around, and that's what separates.
And then you won't even recognize it, and most people will not recognize it because they become so desensitized.
Correct.
And that's where the maxis are, like the Bitcoin maxis. They've been so desensitized, they've been so disappointed that nothing has ever been innovative up to this point. Nothing has actually utilized the features of the Ethereum network. Nothing has
as soon as Johnny
really
shuts up, I'm gonna
utilized
speak
the
to this.
programmable code that is Hex.
Johnny, take a breath, buddy. Take a breath. It's going to be okay. We're going to work this out. Okay. They see me trolling and hating. Hey, I like you. You're good. You're subscribed. You're
great people.
You're a member. You're great people. But if you are paycheck to paycheck, Hex is the perfect thing to be getting yourself into. You can dollar cost yourself into Hex better than you can dollar cost into a 401k, better than you can dollar cost into an IRA, better than you can dollar cost into any other retirement product that's out there. So that to me, Hex is something for the paycheck to paycheck guy. It is.
A little can mean a lot.
Little can mean a lot.
Hextex turned, loose change into $1 million.
Nothing
gets nice the APY with that money
Hex
too.
gets. Nothing gets trustless interest like this. So
and uncorruptible. It's people that are corrupted. The contract for Hex is uncorruptible, and it's also battle hardened and tempered.
Are you in the toilet?
Nope.
Yeah.
I just sounds like he's like, maybe are you in the hot tub?
Hex has consensus code.
Well, you hear the bubbles. I've heard the bubbles. Trust me. Anyway. You hear those bubbles very distinctly when he's in the hot tub. Either that or
it's unfortunate. It's like, I mean,
continuous farts in the bathtub.
No, I'm still at the desk, but my computer is proof of fucking weak drivers right now.
Oh, got it. But the Furus, it's like, I mean, you look at some of the Furus that were around back in 17 are still around, and it's because they're not wrecking the same people. There's a fresh new class of freshmen coming in constantly that are going to watch your Elio trades and your crypto larks and all those fucking idiots and just get wrecked and wrecked and wrecked and wrecked. And then, I don't know if you guys saw Kevin O'Leary.
Go into a restaurant and they have bad service. They just don't go back to the restaurant. Most people don't make a fuss. Most people, if you go have bad service somewhere, you're just like, okay, fine. I'm out of here. I'm just not coming back here anymore. And that's how people treat these crypto influencers. There's nobody still standing there to tell them this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And even if you did tell people that, he's got the 1 million followers and you're a nobody. So guess what? Nobody's going to believe you anyway. So it's just a big waste of time to go in and try to expose these guys. And it didn't happen, actually, until the Hex community started getting pulled. And enough of us stood up and said, these guys don't know what they were talking about. Did people actually start questioning them? And that was a big, big deal at the early beginning. And that's why they all hated us so bad, was because we were actually being listened to. People were actually checking their track record. They were checking their homework. They were going back through their logs and looking where these people had shilled what they shilled. And we exposed a lot of this behavior and brought it to light and brought it to the surface. And these people who utilize their referral links and their sponsorships to generate money, we are threatening their livelihood. And because we are threatening their livelihood by exposing them for the frauds that they don't like us. That's why they don't talk positively about Hex. We are a threat.
We got a few converts, though. We got Windio and BitBoy that now have come back over and see things clearly, but 90% of them are right. Without being paid, they don't want to say anything. But who in the Hexican ecosystem is paid? Nobody. That's why I said that we are Hex.
Which is nobody was paid in Bitcoin either. Mm-hmm. This community is the closest thing to the original Bitcoin community as you're ever going to see. You're going to see that this is a phenomenon unlike anything else in the crypto space that has been ever achieved, including Bitcoin. Because again, Bitcoin at 2 years old was not popular, did not have people running to get tattoos, did not have birthday cakes all posted all over the place. We are in a different time where social media has more reach, where you are able to reach out. Nobody knew where these conventions were. Did you see the ETH 2.0 gathering that they had? Dude, it was a joke. There was like 20 people there. Okay.
They had more than that
and
in one of our
had
cabanas at
sign,
the pool party.
They had one little sign. Yeah, more people at the pool party. They had one little sign about this big on their door to let you know that somewhere in this hotel was their little ETH conference. And I think it was Hex Graphic. One of the Graph Hex guys went and crashed that party, and he was in there filming, and it was like the biggest snooze fest you ever did see in your entire life. But the point being is, there has never been a community like the Hex community. Sure, we might lose some polls to bots, but how many people are out there partying? How many people, when you go to a convention, how many people are wearing Hex logos on their shirt? Who's wearing it that proud? When you go to a Bitcoin convention, these guys are wearing suits and polos. You know, they're not wearing Bitcoin logos on their body. They're not even wearing their Bitcoin, their beloved coin. They're not wearing it on their body. People are wearing Hex on their body, as in tattoos on their body in masses. SJ just got a full leg tattoo that she just had done up Hex themed just recently, and you got to understand, nothing has ever been done like this in crypto. People have never been this passionate about something, and people want to look and go, you don't think this has more potential than Bitcoin? Bitcoin never had what we have. They didn't have the reach. This would have been ideal for Bitcoin back in the day if they could have got people to show up at their conventions, for crying out loud. Just look. It's hard to see when you're biased because you've been burnt and you don't want to look anymore because everything else up to this point has disappointed you, right? And that's where we come from. And then the new people coming in, they've had a good experience, or, some people bought higher and they haven't lived through a first bear market yet, but they'll get over it the first green candle comes. But the new people coming in right now are saying, oh yeah, Hex is great. Oh, the next new thing's great. Oh, the next new thing's great. Oh, the next new thing's great. Well, guess what? What you end up doing is you just deplete your bag as you jump from new thing to new thing to new thing. And then you have totally undone, just like RG and his 555 stakes, you've totally undone your progress because you've jumped from.
You'll have money and you won't in 7.5 years. That's okay. It's okay. To each his own. To each his own. I created the first.
But that's the other thing. They can't pick one. People they have to be like all in or all out. That is an old crypto concept where you have to have an exit strategy and you have to be all in and all out at certain times. You got to be all out at the top and you got to buy back in at the absolute low. And then that's how you miss the bus. That's how you get left at the bus stop chasing shiny objects.
Now let's not get so sour here, Johnny, that you just start turning into a lemon right in front of our eyes. There wasn't everybody that got into this thing. It wasn't everybody that made the mistake. There's a lot of people in here that probably didn't. So it's not all Hexicans that did this or that got involved with this thing. So let's not get too sour. Some people did, and people were like, we said we're chasing.
Oh no, I'm talking about all the things that come along. All the things that come along. There are people trying to sell out of this or go into it. Even stuff within our own community. Even stuff that is somewhat okay, they think, they're going to hedge their bet with the lower unit bias, and that's going to get the bigger pump. And even with Pulse, people think Pulse is going to get them a 10,000x, so they've got money setting on the side to go into Pulse because they think Pulse is going to do a 10,000x before X. And I got news for you. It's not how it's going to play out. Sorry.
Pulse and Pulse X. All.
I can't watch this anymore. Excuse me. I'm not get lonely. Man, this place is falling apart.
Hey, turn that off. Turn that off. Turn it off. You're going to get me shut down. They'll shut us down. Anyway, I 100% agree, Johnny, with, the shiny object theory, with new Hexicans getting drawn away from things, and especially some of the other people that are influencing them, have have some accountability themselves. And I hope it's not wrecking people, and I hope people are being smart about it. But it's because of this space, we're never going to change the fact that people are going to go out there and take lots of risk, and not see the light and do what they're supposed to do, which Hex is the GOAT. Hex is the truth engine. Hex is the thing that you should be, putting your financial energy into, if that's what you're looking to do in crypto, because there's nothing that compares to it. Nothing. And all of these other things are really just proving concepts. For instance, Kool-Aid, when he was talking to me about, this project, this one that just came out that everybody was at, he wanted to see the experiment of what was going to happen. He wasn't shilling it to me. He wasn't telling me that. He was telling me that it's going to be interesting to see this, and that as it plays out. And it's an interesting experiment. All these things are experiments. So keep that in mind, guys. Like I said, all of these things are just proving concepts. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that has proven itself is Hex.
Correct. Hex
is better money. Johnny said it earlier, that the inflation model is untouchable. I've said that from the time beginning, that the delayed inflation model beats everything, not only in crypto, but in the world. There is no inflation model like Hex in the world. That's why I think that Hex could be a global currency, that Hex can take over and be better money, because nothing inflates like it.
Well, it's not only that, Cap. It's like, again, it's systemic design. I look at things, and if I get a free simulation that I don't have to build myself, I'm going to sit back, get some popcorn, take some notes, and see what people react to. It's kind of like you do a director's cut of a movie to see what the audience reacts to before you release it. And you do those things to understand the commonalities and mechanics that are being in play. And with Hex, we have carrot and stick and time in the market to actually show why these things are effective. And that is the ultimate GOAT. And then things that are built on the derivative of a T-share. Remember, Hex is just the coal to fill the T-share steam engine. It's all about the immutable T-share of yield. Hex is how you get your bus ticket to get, or train ticket to get on that ride. And so look at things, use your head, but don't chase shiny objects to get wrecked with. That's not what when I was talking to the Cap about, or anyone else. I'm like, this is a great use case. Just like looking at the ETH-W and ETH-F fork was a great use case for us to watch what happens. It was paper trading instead of testnet trading. It was like, really, you could look at it in real time, and that gives us a great utility to see what happened before the chips fall.
Except you can't utilize that because those were not complete. And that's why Richard doesn't currently support them, because they're not complete.
Agree. I don't disagree with you at all.
And when Pulse launches, it will be launched complete with bridges, with trading. And this is very important to distinguish.
Agreed.
So when people are out there waiting for cheap Hex on Pulse, because that's what happened on the last two forks, again, they are going to be greatly disappointed, because that's not how it works. But Johnny, it starts at zero. No, it starts at ratio with zero value. Ratios will be determined before it is launched. Okay? And another thing, so if you pull up apex.win and you go to the top and you see that currently it's saying Hex is worth 170 Pulse or whatever, okay? If Hex is bonded with Pulse at 170 Pulse per Hex, if Pulse moves a penny, how much does Hex move? If one Hex is worth 176 Pulse, if Pulse moves a penny, how much does Hex move? if the ratio is locked.
76 times that.
176 times that.
Yep. That's what
So if you think
you saw 176 times that.
Yeah. So if you think that you're going to save your money and buy Pulse, because that's the better bet, even though it's a different animal, okay? I wish you luck, because Hex only works if it is the premier store of value, and Pulse only exists because Hexicans were getting robbed from gas fees. That's why Pulse is being created. It made the Ethereum network address the gas fees. It will make Ethereum network address the gas fees. And it will allow Hexicans to transact and do their stakes. And we can go back to normal once again, where if you wanted to do rolling stakes, and even if you wanted to stake 100 Hex, you're going to have small transaction fees. Mind you, if it doesn't get botted to death by stuff like what we got going on currently. Okay.
Well, we can even take it one step further, that because they knew that Pulse was coming, they had to front run it by slapping together shit that barely got ETH 2.0, but doesn't include sharding, doesn't include gas fees, doesn't include further interoperability, but they had to do something before their lunch got taken.
Yeah.
And fortunately, through that, now we get to copy back their consensus code, and we force them. It's like, I'm not a gambler, but it forces like a poker player to have someone force their bluff. And now because of that, we can harvest it again. That's the difference between us and our community, is we harvest. We do not vampire attack. There is a difference. We will look at what works, utilize without hubris what we can do with it, and make it better.
Yep. We assimilate.
Correct. Yeah. If you want to be Borg about it, yeah, we are the Borg. We will assimilate them all.
So this is the thing, right? This is the problem that bothers me, is because we do have the new, it's the new people that feel like they missed out on Hex, okay? That are trying to chase the next shiny object because they don't think they're going to get another pump. They you know, so they and then people will divert them other directions, saying this has smaller units. Let's go over here because this has smaller units. Smaller units does not always mean that you're going to get a 10,000x. You got to understand that each one of these things is designed differently. Only Hex is designed like Hex. It's very important to understand that Pulse is designed like Pulse, Hex is designed like Hex, Pulse X is designed like Pulse X. What's really going to determine what performs is how the ratios are set up and how deep the liquidity pools are. If it is linked in a way where you have USD value only linked to, say, Pulse, right? And everything else is just at a ratio. When the caboose moves, it moves the rest of the train. It goes with the rest of the train. If the engine moves, it drags the caboose. If the engine backs up, it pushes the caboose back up. This is where you get things that are truly correlated, where you actually understand what Hart's law is.
Yep.
This is where you end up in a situation where things that are paired with Pulse, if Pulse is the primary, because it doesn't make sense to set up all these pools, right, with a USDC value when you only need to put one link to the USDC value. That pool can be much greater because you can put all of your USD value there, and then everything else is a ratio. That creates higher trading volume. And there are some very advanced liquidity things that can be done to ensure that everything moves together healthily, right? And we have to see how that plays out. I mean, I've made some good predictions on how this can work out, but until the liquidity pools are set, I don't know. I can't tell you until the liquidity pools are set. Okay. So that's what we're really watching for, but
they are going to be set.
But they are
going to be set by Richard, and it's
going to be to Hex's benefit.
Than we can even think they are.
Well, even
if lots of good conversations about how those pools can be set. And I'll guarantee you that nobody knows better than how to set those things than Richard Hart himself.
Yep.
So,
but even like what Johnny was saying with his analogy about the caboose, that's what I said with Hedron was the second it got released. And the captain knows I talked about Hedron, or an idea of what Hedron could be. Day 170 cap, or you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is that because the Hedron ecosystem shadows a T-share, it's a bonded Hart's law to the T-share, and it works within the same Hexagon ideals and use cases that it moves forward like that. Pulse will do the same thing based on the same levies of Hart's law.
Hedron isn't really bonded in the same way. They have added liquidity and created somewhat like a 30% bond or whatever, but it's not. So here's the problem with Hedron is when you send new people and they think they're going to buy Hedron and they're going to outperform Hex,
they never will. It's just made.
It doesn't work that way.
That's not everybody's intention, Johnny. That's not what we're talking about here.
No,
it's
but
not that it's better than Hex, or it's going to do better than Hex, or people are buying it because it's better than Hex.
But let me put it to you this way, okay? If you buy another thing other than Hex, you pump that thing. If you buy Hex, you pump all of the derivatives.
Correct.
So if you own a big bag of derivatives, your best bet is to buy Hex because that raises up all of the derivatives. So you can buy one coin and raise your whole bag, or you can buy one of the coins in your bag and raise that one coin.
But my point is earlier that the T-share is actually the steam engine. Hex is the coal to power the T-share, and the derivatives are being pulled, like you said, the caboose from the train itself. The T-share is the key to Hex. Hex is what fuels the T-share. And as that gets more expensive and harder to get, that's what pulls the whole damn train. So getting as much T-shares as you can is the important facet to have the most yield and utility even through the derivatives.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a great analogy, but it's like, at the core of that, you can't get a T-shirt without buying Hex.
Correct.
So the key that I think that's missing with a lot of these derivative plays, which are exciting, and if you're a math nerd, it's fun to dive into them and see if I can, I'll get this, so I can stake it for that, and then there's a pool, so I'm getting this bonus, and I don't have to pay all the gas. That's all well and good, but the narrative that's missing from those pieces with these people that they're theoretically using things like Maxi or the perpetuals or Hedron or Icosa or whatever to get people into the Hex ecosystem, they're not pointing out the how imperative it is that at least a portion of what the fuck you're doing needs to be going into just buying Hex. So I mean, if you want to do the derivatives, you want to do the other stuff, that's fine. If that's interesting to you, it helps with you onboarding. Okay. And yes, all of that is going to rise as Hex rises. But if everyone's buying the derivatives and less people are buying the actual Hex, you're kind of hamstringing yourself. So people need to know that they work together.
Well, on top of that, the T-share always goes up and to the right forever. That's the uniqueness of the carrot stick and its auto ratcheting up feature. So no matter what you get onto what
not
side,
why the price is going down. That's the problem. Not why the price is going down. And
but even the price doesn't matter inherently to the T-share rate and how it goes up. At this point, we're in bear. But once bull happens, especially since people have been waiting forever.
Yeah, to be $10,000 a T-share again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Easy.
Yeah, well, and the derivatives price performance is based upon Hex's price performance. Yep. Yes, I mean the T-shares are a component of that, but the point that I just feel is being missed so often is that these guys are doing such a good job marketing their perpetuals and their other stuff. And I'm glad, and I love that they're part of our community, and it's exciting. And I've met these guys and talked to them. They need to be telling their audience the underlying core element, which is you need to have, okay, you want to have my derivatives, great, but you ought to have a Hex bag too. And if you, and that's why my pitch to everyone is if you have an onboard that is smart enough to do the whole routine, MetaMask, where's my fiat on ramp? How do I protect my keys? You get them all the way down the rabbit hole and you teach them about T-shares. That's great. But if you're going the other way around and you're getting them into the ecosystem with buying a derivative, you need to backpedal and start teaching those people, hey, you need to have a hex staking ladder in addition to whatever you're doing with these derivatives.
Sure.
That is the core that's going to carry everything forward. Build your staking ladder first. Fuck around with all the other stuff as much as you care to. But you've got to have that piece in there.
You can pump, you buy Hex, it pumps all of your derivatives.
Correct. Here's the one thing that Hedron or Icasa Hedron did is it put scripting onto a T-share. And to get Icasa at its premium, you're pushing everything out 5555. It will dynamically push the staking yield of 15-year stakes out.
Here's what's important about that, what you just said, Larry, is that it's not just that this one product is doing this. What's going to happen is, and I said that Hedron just proved a concept. I'm talking about how bitchin' and cool Hedron is. I'm talking about the concept. The more and more of these things are going to start. This is going to be the play. This is going to be the next play. It's going to be the next DeFi move, is that people are going to be building things like Hedron on top of Hex. There's going to be better ones. And they're going to be figuring out how to make the T-share important in their ecosystem. As more and more people do that, more and more Hex will get bought up, more and more Hex will be staked 15 years, and it will do just like I've said, it's gonna disappear. Hex is gonna disappear. T-shares are gonna go through the roof, and everybody's gonna be wanting to get a hold of those T-shares. And I'm telling you, Hexicans that got in the first 3-4 years are gonna be the only ones that really have liquid Hex. Correct. It's gonna be a derivative market. Hex is gonna be locked away. There is no reason why the value of a 15-year T-share is worth more than anything in this whole ecosystem.
It's literally
anything in crypto.
It's literally
the 15-year stake is the engine that is going to drive crypto. And once they figure this thing out, and once they figure out that's it, every Hex is going to be staked for 15 years.
Yes, sir.
And you're not going to see any Hex, and you're only going to see derivatives. People are only going to be able to get T-shares by buying HSI stakes and whatnot.
If you think about it like gold, fiat back in the day, the T-share will be the gold and everyone else will only be able to buy silver and bronze. And the T-share is the gold. The Hex is the ability to buy the T-share. And if there is no Hex on the market to get that, the derivatives will be their silver and bronze. So get your gold bag in with your T-shares now before it becomes unavailable.
Gold and silver are just a rock. They don't produce themselves. You put them in a safe, they don't multiply. They don't make baby gold bars and they don't make baby silver bars. Hex is money printer.
Well, not just money printer, Johnny. I always said that T-share is like a house that prints houses, that prints houses, that prints houses. And in that ecosystem, you have renters and owners. If you want to make interest, you have to rent out your house to someone else. If you want to make yield, you still have to have a house to live in. But the T-share is a circular loop that allows you to have that. And that's exactly right. But that's why the T-share is the new foundation of hard money that you can get. It's just we didn't have that for the last 10,000 years as humans because we didn't have the tech until DeFi and this whole Richard Hart ecosystem and the Bitcoin falling and EVM fucking up everything. We didn't have this as the perfect storm. And the T-share is the perfect storm to free all the different things and to reback hard money into something.
I think there's just an easier way to it is the T-shares are deflationary and Bitcoin is inflationary. And a lot of the marketing for Bitcoin is that there's a cap that doesn't matter for 120 years, but a cap nonetheless. So where Bitcoin is decreased inflationary over time, but continued to be inflationary over time, Hex has a deferred inflationary model. And that is important also to understand because future market supply goes out to the future. So even though it is inflationary, it's deferred inflationary.
Right.
And that's very important to distinguish. because of that design. And you have that T-share mechanism, which is also deflationary, because there's, as that rate goes up, the more hex that it costs to purchase it. Therefore, there are less and less T-shares in the pool. Now, there are pluses and minuses for the derivatives. One of the negatives for the derivatives is that when you have an extra choice, now you have 5 different directions your limited economic energy can go into. You push the button on the vending machine and now you're picking one coin. Even though if you pick Hex, all of the derivatives go up, now people have options to put their economic energy into one or another. And people are not able, they feel that they need to put their coin in, they want to put their money in the best. They just want to pick the best. Give me the best. Give me the best. Which button do I push to make the money come out? That's literally the crypto space. Which button do I push to make the money come out? That's what I want to know. All this other theoretical shit, they don't care. They just want to know which coin they pick. They need somebody to tell them, and they want to push the button. I'm telling you right now, you buy Hex, all your derivatives go up. You buy the derivative, only the derivative goes up.
Do not disagree with you at all, sir. You are 1,000% correct.
Yep. So let me talk about the trust here. I want to answer this question. So Pulsechain asked me, RG3, the Hex trust able to pass down Hex inheritance to beneficiary. Now let me explain something to you. Myself and Kinetics here have 2 products. We have MCA, which is Mountain Crypto Advisors, which creates personal trusts for you. We are a small family shop that takes your whole situation into consideration and builds trusts that work for your inheritance. That's MCA. Completely separate from the Hex Investment Trust. The Hex Investment Trust is a derivative like Johnny's talking about. However, the way we built the Hex Investment Trust was that Hex goes into it and never comes out of it. It's Hex that gets locked away in perpetuity, basically.
Now that your ownership in the Hex Investment Trust can go to your beneficiaries, that is an option, yes. That's how you set that up personally between you and in your will to your beneficiary, to your family.
But there is 2 separate products there. The Hex Investment Trust
yes, they
and
are
MCA are 2 different products. But you can will your Hex Investment Trust derivative to your kin or to whomever you want. A trust will let you do that to whomever you want. So, but it locks away Hex, and that's always the play. I think that's that's going to be the future play of everything that's related to Hex and the T-share, is that people are going to be using the power of the 15-year stake to drive their derivatives, to drive their product, whether it's an NFT or whether it's some type of a fiat product that is being displaced and brought to the crypto space. The T-share will be the engine that generates that. It took me a long time to wrap my head around it as Hedron was coming out, but Kool-Aid here was teaching me over and over and over about wrapping and
banging on the walls, sir, banging on the walls for years.
So, but I understand it now, but it is, and I knew it was important, but it is just another aspect of the T-share and how valuable it's going to be in the future. See, this is going to morph into something completely different. See, we're still thinking, we still all have a crypto mindset. And that's why we're seeing the things that Johnny's upset about is the trading mentality, is the shiny object mentality, the get into this thing early because its unit bias is it's going to more X than this thing is going to more X. And my mind still thinks that way sometimes too, but that's not what's happening here. Hex has just changed crypto. Hedron proved that crypto is changing and DeFi is changing and becoming something else because of Hex. Mm-hmm. Now, when Richard gives those tools to us in the next bull market that comes out, when we get those tools, when we get Pulse and Pulse X, and we have the T-share out there and all of these people clamoring to come and start building on Pulse and using Pulse X, the next bull market, and we're going to own DeFi. Hex is going to own DeFi. The Hexicans are going to own DeFi. Richard has gamed the whole system. They just don't know it yet.
They've all been copying off of us. They've all been copying off of us, except the difference is They've been using a centralized entity so that they could put themselves at the top of the food chain and shut off.
You're going in timeout, Dorsey.
and shut off the switch when they need to kill switch it, right? So Celsius was give me your money and I'll pay you interest, right? Luna, same sort of thing, right? These other things were not really DeFi to begin with. The only real DeFi out there is Hex.
Yep.
And
100.
Okay. So that's really the only real DeFi, because what is decentralized finance? That is you and the code. Everything else, what are you doing now, Kinetics?
Oh, that's the crypto keyboard for all these developers out there these days. Hexologist tweeted this, a pulsechain developer's keyboard, but it applies to the whole crypto space. Correct. Control C and Control V, that's all they need to make projects here in this space.
But that's what and with games, it's the exact same paradigm if you actually dig into it. I mean, Johnny can attest to it being a practical effects guy. You use the same core principles, but they work, and that's why they work. Copying and pasting them to take a shortcut doesn't mean it's going to look any better, perform any better, or probably it's going to fuck up. So you have to look at what are you removing from the ecosystem to try to optimize something that you didn't understand to begin with.
I understand product development very well.
Oh, no, I know you do.
I've got a box of kidneys that I made for 6 months to finally develop something that's X-rayable, ultrasoundable, and endoscopable. People don't hire me to copy and paste.
No. But it's saying you actually understand
problems that haven't been
effects. People that copy paste different things didn't have to come through the up and coming and build it from scratch and understand why it works for what it works. I'm saying you understand it practically, physically, and the utility, and that's why you're great at what.
And that should be that should be suspect. This whole crypto space, people should look at that like this. Look, I don't want to talk shit about this guy, but I can't say that I was impressed with Mr. Levin. Everybody was all over his jock. Everybody had him all over the place. And I wasn't impressed. I met him, nice enough guy, but I still wasn't impressed. Everybody said, oh, he has the look. He's number 21 of Google, whatever the fuck that was supposed to mean. I worked at a company where I was number something or whatever, but it doesn't matter. When people are out there copy pasting and putting stuff in front of you and using their clout to get you to buy their thing, that bothers me, because I spent my whole life having to go out there and figure out something new every day and work my ass off to complete it. When they stuck me in front of a 2-3 million pound press and told me you got to take this thing apart now, I had to sit there and figure it out and work my ass off for 6 months to get that thing out of there. And that was on a regular basis.
You have
for 30 years what I did. But in crypto, anybody can copy paste and just get out there and act like they're the man, instead of actually proving themselves and doing the work and providing a service or providing something that's going to have value. It's I pick people out like that, and that's how I felt about this thing and this guy. And
influencers are the same, right? So we grew up in a time where you have to do something notable to get onto TV. Now we're in streaming world. And now people still have that disassociation that if a person is on the screen, that they must have done something good to get there, right? They must be notable. They must have some notoriety to get on the screen that people are watching. So we have that bias in the back of our head. And really what it comes down to is now anybody with a camera and a microphone and knows how to operate software can stream. And that doesn't mean that the information that they're bringing to you is credible. Right? It just means that they're able to do this, and you have to make your own decision. You have to be able to sort through that and discern whether or not, and just not give people a free pass because you like their personality, or they say funny stuff and they make you laugh, or you're on the same page with part of what they say. In psychology, now Toby can tell you about this. In psychology, there are people that will get you to say yes, right? They'll say X amount of things to get you to agree with them. Let's talk about the first principles of crypto. Let's talk about this. Now let me turn around and redirect you in a completely different way, because now I have you in a pattern of nodding your head and saying yes. Now I'm going to completely redirect you to what I want you to do. That this is a redirection tactic where now all of a sudden you're starting to abandon your own beliefs because you agreed up until this point and you think this guy's steering you in the right direction and you're bobbing your head and you're agreeing with everything he's saying. And now you're just in this habit of agreeing. And it's a real strong psychological effect that manipulates people. And I have to say, he's good at it.
It's coffees for closers stuff. It's
Falcon crypto.
And that's why, like I was saying, Johnny, until you put your hands in and build something practically, you have no concept what it takes to understand the minutia on how to get there. Same thing with the Cap was saying before. I remember one of the first streams I came on is that his bigwig CEO people would be like, oh, your machines can be copy pasted in here. And I'm like, no, you have to turn the machines. You have to do it.
You got a point here, Lawrence, and that is, this is also another simple concept. People are fascinated by the things that they're unable to do.
Yep.
People are fascinated by the things that they're unable to do. Since people have certain careers, what I do is not really fathomable to a lot of people because they don't have that experience, but that's where I put my time, right? I know how to do this thing or these things, multiple things, because that's where I put my time and my effort. Okay. It's not because it's magical. It's because this is where I put my time and effort in. These were the goals that I was trying to achieve. So when people look at that, they're like, oh, it's amazing. And I'm thinking to myself, no, it's not. It's just this process. It's very simple. It's a matter of fact to me. It's not fascinating to me a bit. Anything that you do, if you listen to a musician and you're like, oh my God, this musician is just so amazing. Why are you amazed? You're amazed because it's outside of your capabilities. So when somebody comes up and they show you that they have abilities that you don't, be wary of the fact that you are going to be susceptible to that fascination, because that person has knowledge or abilities that you don't, but that does not make them a good person. That doesn't mean that they're going to steer you on the right path. That means that person has skills in this particular area, but that does not mean you can't just give people a free pass because you're in awe of what they've done. You shouldn't do hero worship. You can't worship people because they have abilities that you don't, right? That is how they applied their time. And you need to just take that into consideration and apply that and say, this is how this person spent their time. That's why they're good at this. That's great. But just because they're good at this one thing does not necessarily mean they're good at all this other things, because you're fascinated and fixated on this one thing that they do very, very well. You can't give them a free pass thinking that everything they do is going to work out just as well.
And one step further of that, the reason why critics are critics is because they could not do it themselves. I've never seen a critic, especially an air quote influencer critic, whether it's boom, film, anything, that could actually do the work. They sit on the peanut gallery and talk and pretend like they could actually solve it themselves. And that's exactly what Johnny's saying, is the people that can solve a particular facet, pay attention. Don't be in awe, but that doesn't mean that they may just be a one-hit wonder in the ecosystem that they specialize in. Doesn't mean they can do everything with the same.
I mean, you almost have to understand, there's like such a chance that you are going to be the human being that you are, that your cells are all put into the position. Your cells are all put in the position that they are, that make you who you are, right? Well, the same thing goes with crypto. All those pieces and components have to be put together just right, and it's an abnormality when any of this shit works, as Richard says. It's actually an abnormality when any of this shit works in crypto. So Hex is an anomaly for that reason, because it has been the thing that we've been waiting for. And this is not hero worship. This is not Richard. Look, a lot of innovation doesn't necessarily come from the brightest people. Okay. Usually innovation is a result out of necessity because there's a void, there's a gap.
That's true.
Somebody needs to come up with a solution to a problem that nobody else is addressing. And the crypto space has been a problem for years because instead of addressing the problems, all they do is they run in circles around the problems, promise to fix the things that never get fixed, and then, continue on like, that's okay. We'll get it next time. Next project. We'll get it fixed next project. Let's move on to the next one. This one didn't work out. That's okay. Let's just move on. Crypto, like RG was saying, crypto is the only industry where you can absolutely suck at your job and still get paid for it and get paid absorbently. The only job you can get paid, well, okay, weatherman. Weatherman's another one, right? So, but I mean, crypto is like the only job you can get paid abnormally large amounts of money for not having any skill set or abilities or capabilities whatsoever. Okay? And nobody expects any more of you. You're able to say, guys, sometimes I'm sorry, this stuff doesn't work out, but we'll get it next time. In my job, in my career, if I say that I'm going to do something and I am unable to complete or solve the problem that's thrown at me, I don't got a job, man. And I don't got a reputation. I don't have an existence because you can't fail. If you take a job and you say you're going to do something, you have to freaking do it. There are at least 65 other jobs that suck. You can get paid.
Yeah. So I gotta shift this over because we believe so much in the Richard Hart ecosystem and specifically Hex because it's got a track record. We know where it's going. We know where it's been. This is just typical market cycle. I want to do a big shout out to the celebrity boxing. They are fighting tomorrow. M to the K is wearing Hex gear, is fighting in the ring. He is the final fight. There's a few other fights before that. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here, guys. It is official. I can spell it right. officialcelebrityboxing.com. And that is going to be fun to watch, guys. So officialcelebrityboxing.com. You guys can watch it live. We actually put together the shirts for them, and this is what they look like right here. So we got the Pirates of Hexico shirt, and we've got the Hex Enigma shirt. These shirts are going to be worn ringside tomorrow, and by M to the K himself as he comes out and gets ready to fight. So we've got lots of different sizes here. These are on that quality fabric that I keep talking about. The kayak got here in time, so we will have them. So
nice.
These are. We already have these on online. There's only 50 of them. We're probably going to sell out in the next 15, 20 minutes. It feels like. No, we're literally probably going to sell out because we've only got 50 available. So these are the shirts. They're pretty busy, but they are badass. I love these freaking shirts. So let's
what's the link site to get to the shirts, Kinetics?
It is hexfights.com. It is in the link in the description below. Hexfights.com. Hexfights.com. So yeah, these ones we put the diamond on there. These ones are going to be used also for the diamond belt fight with Jake Lund in December in the kickboxing championship. So any of you guys here that don't like discourse, don't worry. That will not be the inside print tag on it, so don't worry about that. So if it's going to stop you from buying it, don't buy it from there. But these are the super high quality shirts. In fact, they're the same material, the ones I'm wearing right now. I've got a great stretch to them. You can wash them 500 times. You can work out every day of the week in them, and they still never get funky. They're just freaking badass. So these shirts are available. This is the profits, the revenue generated from this. Most of it, some of it will be to cover costs. Most of it is going back to Kareem and DCC. This was a goodwill project. This is to help them raise money for the fight. So most of this will go back to it since they didn't raise the full 100K they were looking to for the fight tomorrow. So just want to throw that out there. Yeah. there's something to be said about that Motley investor. Just wait for it's nothing like watching Jake Lund, man. That guy is freaking on fire. We're even setting up right now a stream where we get to interview John Wayne Parr. We're not sure it's going to come together yet, but he was the one on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's known as the best of the best of all time. He was known to be saying on the Joe Rogan show that Jake Lund is the next up and coming him. So we're happy to have Jake Lund in our corner. But in the meantime, a boxing fight is still a boxing fight. Celebrityboxing.com. Go check it out. M to the K representing Hex.com. Gonna get some eyes on Hex.com tomorrow. So we'll see what comes out of that. But I think it'll be fun. There'll be, if he wins tomorrow night, there's a chance that he'll be fighting more fights in the future. So pretty freaking awesome. Support that. So the proceeds go to help them raise money to pay for this fight. So it's hexfights.com. Hexfights.com. It's in the description below. Make sure you guys show up to watch it, and make sure you show up to buy some t-shirts. What's up, buddy?
Oh, I said I don't do any sports, but I just bought 2. Everyone go get them. I think there's like 30 available on one of the sizes. So go.
Have you noticed that Hex merchandise has outsold every other crypto merchandise imaginable?
Isn't that funny? Yeah, well, hey, shout out right now. I just got to give shout out to Motley Investor, him and his crew, Jay Mills, Yash Deep, Vince. Like those guys are killing it over there on their Hex merch store.
Don't forget Joe, the one that actually does the Photoshop show that or the stuff that I heckle. But
there you go,
fantastic people.
Yes, Dorsey, we got your size. Yes, Dorsey, these ones we have a double XL. So with these ones, we actually have your size. We didn't have them in the other shirts, but we have them in this one. So if we can just get the Hex merch guys, now that we're actually building out our manufacturing in Indonesia, if we could just get these guys to print on our stuff, we would just print all of their stuff for them. We'd be their direct fulfillment and print on demand. So they didn't have to deal with the shitty Printful and Printify. Because trust me, we've dealt with those guys too. And that's pretty shitty quality in my opinion. So we could do better and we can get them a better quality and probably increase their profit margins all at the same time. So, but shout out to those guys. Those guys have put in the work and they've sold a lot of units. So love what they're doing out there. They're getting.
If you show up to a Hex convention, you can identify Hexicans from across the room. You know, even when I showed up at Excalibur to go to that convention, I saw a guy in a Hex hoodie and I said, "Where's it at?" And I followed him upstairs. I mean, it's so easy to do that. You know, it's just amazing. And then when you do see Hexicans, you can spot us from a mile away because we wear our colors loud and proud. Nobody wears their coins loud and proud like we do, in groups and masses. You know, and they love it. They love it. Of course, you know, some people don't bother spending any time on a logo whatsoever because they don't plan on sticking around the community long enough for it to really matter. But you know, we'll just bypass that altogether and, you know, talk about how our logo is the awesome logo and people wear it loud and proud. And, you know, it's amazing to see that. Bitcoin didn't have that. They really didn't have that, you know.
Never.
Hey, Kinetics, I got a question about the fight.
Yeah.
I see where you can buy a ticket to watch it online. Do you know of any apps where people can watch it streaming on their televisions? Or
I don't know about that, man. I don't know enough. I tried to get more detail out of it. That's actually part of the reason why I got off screen, as well as some other reasons. But I couldn't find any answers that were resolute in that. All I got back from these guys is officialcelebrityboxing.com. So.
Got it.
So there, I'm sure if you've got a smartphone or a smart TV with the capability of web browsing, you can probably do it that way too. Just
you know what it's like from your phone.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, casting it from your phone would probably even be the better option, because just we all know what it's like to click and type with a remote on the TV. Oh man, it's miserable.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There was a girl a while back in Bare Knuckle that was sponsored by Hex, and God bless her. I mean, she was outmatched, but she really gave it her all. I can't remember what her name was, but that was
she was over in the UK, right? It was the one that Sai was sponsoring, wasn't it? Yeah, she was.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
She was a boxer. She was a boxer, not a bare knuckle.
Yeah, I think she had an MMA background.
Okay.
But whatever the case, she didn't end up winning the fight, but man, she was, you know, tough girl, stuck it out. And now, of course, YouTube, because of the algorithms, I've been getting shown bare knuckle fighting shit constantly, which if you've ever gone down that rabbit hole, it's fucking brutal. I mean, the bare knuckle stuff is like, what in the hell are these people doing? I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's actually better on your body though than your brain gets rattled around with the gloves on. You know, it's just cutting your face up is what it is. It's a lot bloodier.
Yeah.
It's like a street fight. You know, you bleed a lot.
Yeah.
You don't get hurt as much, but you bleed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boxers get their brains rattled
unless you get hit
with the heavy gloves because it's that extra weight and that extra shock to the brain. That's why the boxers, end up.
Yeah, it's a shock absorber. So your brain's bouncing off of everything. Boom, boom, boom. Versus crack. You get a good crack, you know, and it's just blood and freaking guts and spitting ass everywhere. That's it, you know.
Yeah. I want people to stay in it longer with boxing.
I wanted to address our man here. What's his name? AK.
Yeah, I like that comment.
He was being really like I'm not skirting you, bro. Just really, to be honest, it doesn't matter. I'm not giving these 2.0 any real credit for fixing things. It may have made things better, right? Okay, so we got some more features. But Richard, when pulsechain comes out, you're going to see different features than what that were originally from ETH. So yeah, great, but it's not the fucking savior. I'm not gonna sit here and say that and suck on ETH 2.0's junk, you know. So get off of that kick, bud. Great, thanks for letting us front run that. But and I posted a thing about open source too. Yeah, open source is good. It is good, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't do open source. What I'm saying, and what I said earlier, I wasn't dogging out people who use open source. What I was dogging people out is it's called faking the funk. You can't fake the funk on a funky dunk. You got to be going to the hoop. You got to really be doing it. You got to really be doing it, not just copy pasting and saying, "Oh, looky what I did." You know, that's what I'm talking about. Richard has built something, and yes, he's using a feature of 2.0. It's not the whole fucking sausage though, buddy. So, let's get that straight. It's one thing to open source and use things and make things better, enhance them, and build a better mousetrap. It's another thing to just use open source, copy paste, and say, "Looky what I did." It's a completely different thing. Completely different.
Yeah, hammer so you build a house.
I think AK was in the he was in the chat when I was on with Corey Costa the other night, and I had this other we addressed it on the stream, but it's like, the way that I see my role personally, there's tons of people that are going to be critical of Richard and bring up flaws and bring up shortcomings and all that. I don't feel like that's my role. It's like, I feel like I'm trying to balance it, because there's plenty of people out there that are going to tell you, like, the things that they're not happy with the outrage marketing, or you name it, things that could be better, right? Being critical. I'm one that tries to steer people to the counter argument. So it's got to be that balance. It's like if all of your your favorite OG streamers were always going to try to toe the middle line and give equal time to the things about Richard that we would like to be different, then it's not in balance, because there's so many detractors. There's so many people that are going to gladly give you like the things about Richard that they don't like, or the way that he's doing things and what they don't like about it. So it's not that we don't see those things. It's not that we don't have our own opinions about maybe how some things could be handled differently or better, or the optics could be better. It's just that, you got to understand that, we get it, but, we're trying to balance the score, or at least that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with influencers that, are within the community. It doesn't do us any good to attack them for their mistakes, or yell and scream that this person's retarded or whatever, and it doesn't, you can't, each person is going to bring their own audience, and they're accountable to their own audience. We don't necessarily have to do harm to them for their audience to correct them on the path, you know. So it isn't good if people are out there trying and you know, just to directly attack people that are putting in their effort. Now look, everybody's motivations are different and people are in different positions, right? Some of us don't have to stream at all, and we do it because we want to. Others, that is their job. We have people that are outside the community or on the skirts of the community that are trying to do their own thing because they're doing it as a revenue generator, you know, and you need to keep that in mind, that they're trying to do what they can to generate revenue. And maybe they're not going to have things straight, or maybe they're going to get things wrong. Maybe they shouldn't be using that as their primary source of income, but that's what they've chosen to do, right? But it doesn't do us any good to try to bring everybody down. That when we first started, we were the 300. You know, we covered each other with each other's shields. We stood side by side. We promoted each other's shows. We told everybody, you know, go over, check out this channel. That's the reason why people grew so fast, is because we stood together and we referred people. Now we are in a situation where people have different agendas, and it's hard to redirect people, you know, and support everybody, because people do have some various different agendas and various different motivations. And what we need to do is we need to focus on us. We need to focus on us, and we need to be our own voices. And, you know, it's unfortunate because we can't do things the way we have done things. I would say don't be an influencer, get a job. You know, if you're not equipped to do the job, get a job, make that your job. And then, you know, just buy your damn hex and stake it, and quit trying to be the new Furus of the era, you know. But you know, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, I can see that point, and you know, just because I think that you know, I don't want I don't know, how do I say this? So basically, I feel like there's some younger streamers out there that are kind of learning as they go, and they feel like they're taking their audience along for the learning journey with them. And I think maybe the point that they don't understand, and that I would like to see a little more of, is just to really beat the drum of do your own research. Just because they're kind of like live streaming their learning curve, what they don't understand is that a lot of those people, you know, they might hear a streamer say something about, you know, oh, it's only beer money. But, you know, for their audience, they might say, well, that's an endorsement. And that's all the research I need to do, because this person that's well respected said something about this thing. Yep. So all of a sudden they're taking out a fucking cash advance on a credit card to go all in on some garbage. So it's like, you know, you gotta, you know, I get that you're trying to teach people, but you do carry some responsibility to your audience. And it's like, I'm nobody, you know. It's like, I've been on a bunch of streams, thank God for RG and Kinetics and Discourse. I mean, this is where I first streamed, and, you know, I've been on some other streams since then, and I'm pretty active on Twitter. You know, technically, I guess I'm an influencer. There's things that I say that some people might take as gospel, you know, but I'm adamant to always encourage people to do their own research. Don't believe me. Don't believe anybody. Go do your own research. It doesn't take long to do a background search on somebody. It doesn't take long to, you know, to dig into a white paper can make things sound all kinds of wonderful. You know, it doesn't take too much.
2017, the dawn of the white papers and the websites. So God.
Right. You know, I mean, there's white papers that would make you think it was the second coming of Christ. And it's like, no, it's like just because it sounds really good on the white paper doesn't mean that there's not some shady shit going on the blockchain, that all this was pre-mined and this person did this and that.
You want me to write on a piece of white paper? I could show you a piece of white paper, and I could set me up a website with Wix. People are amazed by things that they can't do. This is one of those things, right? You know, somebody has a little bit more knowledge than you do. You can't just assume that that person is all knowledgeable. don't be amazed when people say a few things right and think that all of a sudden they're going to save you because they're knowledgeable. That's where we got sucked into the trap with the 2017 influencers, is because we were coming in fresh, we were coming in new, so we were trying to listen to somebody more knowledgeable than us to learn, and then that's how we got wrecked. Plain and simple. That's how that worked, and that's kind of what's going on again. The crypto influencers then, they did the same exact thing. Don't trust me, guys. I'm just a guy on the internet, but I really think this project has potential. Guess what? Everybody's buying that stupid project. Everybody's buying. I think this has potential. That's where people's money goes. And I just broke, I'm not even a streamer. So I just broke 10,000 followers on Twitter. And nice. I'm looking at this and I'm going, it scares me. It scares me. Now there are 10,000 people that are hanging on my words. And I take great responsibility in that. I have to be very careful about what I say. And RG pointed this out, that, if I just go swinging at things, people don't understand how certain I had to be about what I say before I say it. Because, I literally attacked a project that was barely even launched. And I made fun of Tone Vase and everybody for making fun of Hex when it first launched. You realize how certain you have to be of yourself to make those statements so premature in a cryptocurrency, knowing that people are dumb and you can never underestimate the power of stupidity. And that shit could have pumped like crazy. And I still told you, what I told you. And K4K, God bless him. He went out of his way to stand up against everybody shouting at him and telling him, "Oh no, you're stupid, man. You don't know what you're talking about." But he was able to stand his ground. But you have to be very certain to make bold claims because there are so many people listening to you. And
well, that's because you take accountability for yourself, Johnny, and not all of these influencers do that. And that's the difference here, is that we need to be sure that, especially us as Hexicans and Hex streamers, that we understand that what we say is a big freaking deal. There's a lot of people that can be influenced by what it is you're saying, and especially when you're coming at something and saying something very strong, or even if you even speak of violence or hate or anything like that, there are people out there that will listen to that and take you up on it. And we've seen it already in this community. And I've had to have a talk with a very, very important streamer of ours, and we didn't see eye to eye on it. But I told him, I said, look, you cannot be that angry and express that publicly, because there is somebody out there that is going to listen to you and take you seriously. And this person kept saying, well, I'm not serious. I'm not really serious about, my hatred and my want for evil to happen to this person. I'm not really serious. But there's somebody out there that's listening that is taking it serious and is sending death threats and doing all of these stupid things. So we got to be very careful about, gaslighting and the things that we say. I see that all the time in the space nowadays, and it really kind of bothers me that I see that anybody can just say anything. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, just because you got a platform doesn't mean you should be on it speaking. It doesn't mean that you should be out there saying something, because some of you all, and you shouldn't even be on Twitter. God damn it. But you got to take accountability.
And it's hard, man. It's hard. I'm a guy that gets really hot on subjects, and it's hard for me not to, really lash out sometimes when I really, really want to. And then I try to do what Rich wants me to do, is I try to ghost things, and not bring them up at all. And it's hard, right? And when you do speak up, your own community attacks you. Your own community attacks you because people want to believe so bad. They want their golden ticket. And what they don't understand is Hex is your golden ticket. Yes, you just haven't been here long.
I think it still is. Absolutely. My vision has not been lost on that. And I hope everyone else here that has been brought here because they saw the same thing in Hex. I hope they haven't been swayed from that either.
Well, you know, I think one thing also is like, Johnny, you're the same as me. Like, I was an influencer in 17. So when anyone asks where to find me, I'm like, you don't know where to find me, but I guarantee you,
I was the one being influenced, and I lost everything in 2017.
It was a nightmare because I didn't even get paid because all of it were just shams. But the thing is that I already did that, and I work in entertainment where that's what I do professionally. So I don't need a channel. But the thing is, when Johnny speaks, he doesn't care about followers or like and subscribe or anything that. Johnny is one of the people that has been there, done that, built it, showed it, handled it. And when he speaks his mind because he cares. There is no...
I blame Richard. Bastard.
You know what? I got something to say real quick. AK, shut the fuck up and quit crying. Come on in here and talk to us if you want to talk to us. Just sit there crying in the damn chat room about Richard. I don't know what your hard on is for Richard right now, but Richard has absolutely nothing to do with any of us.
And what did I say before, Captain? Is we are Hex now.
We are Hex.
Yeah, you
now the pulsechain launch. You don't have any say so in any of it. It doesn't matter. He said no expectations of work or profit from the work of others. That's what this is all about. You wait for it to come out and you get what you get. So quit crying, man. Jeez.
So this is what, like, not only do I always give Johnny the tip of the hat because he worked in my industry in the analog days. He set the precedence on what real special effects are. Now, fucking goddamn hard it is. You know, what is it? Charles Messier or whatever the one that sent the fucking spaceship to the moon and landed in its eye and also did the train shit. That shit was hard. And I can't say where I work, but we just wiped our entire balance sheet again and restarted. $45 million wiped off our balance sheet. And so, like, when people don't understand what goes into actually creating something versus pressing a buy button and then being, air quote, a critic from an air quote peanut gallery, shut the fuck up. You decided to, air quote, sacrifice, whether that dodges around SEC shit, or you should have digested the words that you used when you did it. Shut the fuck up. Or if not, come online and speak your piece. Otherwise, don't be a gamer that bought something for $50 and tell someone that works 18-hour days for the last 20 years how to build a game. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, it's like you got game reviewers, right? Do they make the games? No, they don't make the games.
You know what they do? They have critics that could not. Yeah. That's why we are a Hexican, not a Hexicant. We do the things.
And everybody likes to look at things after something's built and tell you what you could have changed. But they don't know what it requires to change it, right?
And by the way,
sometimes the changes that they would make.
Hold on one second, Johnny. Anyone that has the Johnny Giraffe PSD, so I don't have to rebuild it, I want that PSD. So whoever made that PSD with the Johnny Giraffe, that was delicious. I want that as well.
Yeah,
nobody even knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, Fetter's fine.
I think Jack Hexicon put it up. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty badass.
I'd like to address this real quick. I get what you're trying to say about the updates and everything, but Captain and I are the ones that set David up with a high-end SOC2 verified SOC 2. If you guys know what that means, it's the highest level of certification, ISO standard you can get for a data center. Vaulted, double redundancy and power, cooling, everything, like high-end servers and everything.
The double throwdown trick of the week.
That's right. David didn't have to pay for any of that stuff. He just taught the guy that runs the center how to, essentially David was running the software, the front end on the software, and the guy from the center was running the hardware. So yeah, David did not get wrecked. In fact, now, because you only need 32 Pulse to run a node validator, and it's so minimal, the way that the new validators work with ETH 2.0, from his own home, he's going to be able to run like 100 of them himself. So don't worry, guys. He's going to be able to. David Feeder is going to be running some nodes for everybody, so don't worry about that. It did not get him wrecked at all.
He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, And before anybody else jumps in and says, well, David's not wrecked, but what about these other guys that bought all this equipment? Here's the deal. Anybody that's looking at doing that, it is not a purely altruistic endeavor. Eventually, pulse validators stand to make a lot of money. It might not be for a long while because it's, fractions of a penny for a transaction. But once there are trillions of transactions, I guarantee you the validators will be in a position to make some money. So those people taking those calculated risks to try to get a head start on how to be better prepared for when this thing goes are responsible for their own actions. It's like, that I don't see how that could be anyone's fault or there's anyone to blame for that. It's like they've just positioned themselves to be ready for launch and they've learned and that's invaluable. So I think that's kind of a straw man.
Well, the thing is that not only it's not the people that actually did that, it's other people from the peanut gallery are talking about other people that got wrecked. Those that are actually building in the bear, regardless of cost, time, or mental servitude, are actually metaling themselves up to be upgraded and ready to go instead of just commenting from a chat channel from maybe their mom's basement or maybe some high rise. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're doing the work. And if you do the work, you're not getting wrecked. You realize the opportunity of fortune favors the bold. And sometimes it doesn't go in your favor, but you're still 95% ahead of anyone else that didn't even try.
And you've got people that have these servers that can be redirected and do other things with too. And the guys that we have in the community are actually very smart, and they will find another use for the equipment that they have, which is kind of funny because I think it's funny how everybody flocks to the new guy and they don't realize the talent that we actually have in this community. Hodl Dog is an IT person also. He's running his own server. He does, we've got some really brilliant people in the community that people don't have any understanding really of their background, what their abilities are. Everybody was drawn to Hex for different reasons, so there's the quote that, talent hits a target that others can't reach and genius hits a target that others can't see.
Yes.
And that is very, very important to understand about Hex. And the reason why people are not able to see it for what it is because it is genius. It's something that is different, and we are used to finding things that are similar, right? And that's how we make comparisons. We compare everything to our knowns. And when you're up to this point of innovation where everything's been a promise and a prayer, you don't expect that change to happen where somebody actually comes up with something solid and something actually does what it's intended to do. And some very bright people in the community were able to recognize that through that process of seeing that the environment has changed. And that's why they're so hard into this, and that's why they're so behind this, because genius draws genius.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I can understand people, wanting to have a hug. Let's say, it's like if you just looked at my portfolio from September of last year, I'm wrecked, and I'd venture to say that I'm more wrecked than a lot of the people that are crying about it, because I did not put in a small amount of money. I'll tell you that, and it wrecked my average. Luckily, I was in early, but still, I know what it feels like. I get it, but what you have to kind of wrap your head around is Richard's job is not to give out hugs because we are in a volatile market. The product is the product. It is the same thing it's been since day one. So wrecked is a snapshot in time. If you know that you have good product market fit and you're in the right product, I guarantee you, as much as I possibly could, you look at this thing in a year or less, all the wrecked,
that's another term that's
are going to be thrilled, and they're going to be giving hugs to other people because they're so happy. I'm just telling you, market, sort of remind me tweet, whatever.
Everything's got product market fit now, Toby. Don't you know that? Everything's got product market fit. The next coin tomorrow, they're going to be screaming it's got product market fit. You know, I mean, you don't understand how rare that is. And I'm not saying you, but I'm saying in general, people don't understand that. And that term is just getting thrown away like it's nothing. You know, you're almost like calling all tissues Kleenex, right? For everything's got product market fit. Everything's got product market fit. No, it doesn't.
Johnny, the funny thing is, like, the thing that I'm writing that I can't talk about, actually, I'm doing some cross analysis on Zuckerberg's $10 billion fucking foray into the metaverse. They didn't understand because his hubris didn't use the prestige on what Facebook originally was built on. It was only available at Harvard. Then it went to Yale. Then it went to Columbia. Then a year later, it went to schools. And everything that's being said on this is literally, air quote, I've got it in bullet points, product market fit. And I kind of died laughing.
And we get sniped for that, guys. So like,
it pumplamentals too. You know what
our
I mean?
Our marketing terminology and our terms and the things that are unique to Hex have been sort of swiped and sort of ran with and adopted outside the Hex community. Pumplamentals, product market fit. You know, I mean, these terms are just kind of thrown out there, and you need to understand the rarity of what product market fit means. When Richard says product market fit, Richard's talking about Richard products. Richard hasn't been saying, look, I mean my products. But everyone has let that loosely interpret to, you know, oh, well, we just find something else outside of the ecosystem that's product market fit. No, look, there's Ethereum, there's Bitcoin, and there's Hex. There's your product market fit. Pulse and PulseX don't even exist yet. Okay.
Correct.
Those are the coins that have product market fit. Doge, as a meme coin, has a product market fit because it's got the large following, and it's just it started out as a
joke,
extra coin that Bitcoiners got, you know, and it was their play toy, and that's where it got its start. But it's rare. It's rare, and be very cautious when somebody introduces you to their brand new product that doesn't even exist yet, because crypto is infamous for creating solutions to problems that don't even exist. One more time.
It's the solution to the problem that doesn't exist.
Just one more time.
One more MLM.
Crypto is infamous for creating solutions to products or damn it! Now I'm screwed up. You guys.
Sorry, bro.
Creating solutions to problems that
don't even exist, right? So and they will try to tell you that there's this big problem that they're solving that doesn't even need to be fixed, but they're solving this problem, and that has been a marketing point for crypto for years. And then these things die. Dentacoin, a coin for dentists.
And by the way, Johnny,
dentists need a cryptocurrency, right?
It's my graveyard.
Cryptocurrency, you know, every dentist needs cryptocurrency, right? Don't you understand? It makes payments easier.
The Dentacoin.
I still have it in my graveyard. All those Ponzi's and all that crap shit, I keep it in my graveyard to remind me where I came from.
You didn't, right?
And you know, we got called BitConnect, right? And then here's Celsius literally using the same marketing verbiage. Literally the same verbiage. If you could pull up the website of BitConnect and compare it to the verbiage used on Celsius, literally they just copied what worked. It was a centralized platform that took your coins and held them in their custody and agreed to pay you interest on lending that supposedly happened. Okay. The only difference is Celsius didn't talk about this magical black box bot that did all these phenomenal trading things and how it skimmed off the market.
Trading bots.
Celsius never talked about that. But other than that, they were loaning. People were going to borrow money and they were going to pay it back, and you were going to get part of that interest. And what happens is these things are Ponzi's. They're unsustainable. So while we were being called the Ponzi, you were being sold the Ponzi. Yep. That's what's really awesome about crypto.
Trading bots.
And everybody endorsed it. And everybody was paid to talk about it. And you were led down that path of Celsius. Why? Because it was the safe thing. And what Hex does is it removes the middleman out of the code. It's you and the code. But see, they can't make money on that. That's the problem. They can't insert themselves at the top of the food chain if you've got a code that you can utilize self-sovereignly, right? So they're not even promoting the principles of crypto. What they're saying is, give us custody of your coins, we'll pay you a little bit of interest. Those are the Ponzi's. If you're being taxed, if there's a tax coin that you pay an entry fee and exit, they'll say, oh, no, that's normal. No, guys, that's exploitation. If you're paying a tax, you're paying a tax token, you're being exploited. If somebody's leading you to that tax token, they are leading you to be exploited. Usually, those tax tokens have referral links, and they are getting paid a percentage based on the referral of getting you to go and put your money in there. When something has to require other people to pay you or pay you know, your money is going, that where's the money go, right? Follow the money. If they are charging you a fee so they can redistribute that fee to other people, that's a pretty good example of a Ponzi. And you need to be able to have your eyes open and watch for that stuff. We shouldn't have to hold your hand and tell you that's how things work. You should know. Hex is the only self-sovereign code that is just you in the contract. And if the website goes down, guess what happens?
We got a new
I was just asking him to, I know he's legit, but I was asking him to give us at least show us off screen that it's really him, because we've had too many people shut down our streams because naked randos just showed up. So
it was the Motley impersonator.
Let us see in the
Motley
room. We'll shut your.
Dude, that shit was so fucking funny. No. You know, Hex Trafficker, you're fine. Just show the people that you be there.
Yeah, if you can just turn on your camera.
Show us in the green room. We won't put
I have proof of driver right now, so my camera's dead, unfortunately. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Hey, Human Hex Trafficker, me and Captain can see you in the green room. So if you just show us real quick, you don't have to show your face.
At least that you got clothes on or something.
Yeah. I'm butt naked, kids.
You're not eating somebody's brains on your kitchen table or something.
He said, block me, please. I'm butt naked, is what he said in the private chat.
Yeah, I think he's a good guy. Just turn on the camera or take us.
I'm gonna bring you up. Go ahead and unmute.
I know Human Hex Trafficker has been around forever. This guy's an OG for sure.
Well, the same thing happened to side effects, right? Someone took side effects thing and did a very horrible McPosty thing. Poor guy.
Unmute yourself, though, Hex Trafficker. We can't hear you if you're talking. I can't unmute you because you got yourself muted.
Double mute. We add that in the professional world.
Thanks for bringing the show to a screeching halt.
Anthony Munoz, appreciate all the alpha from everyone, schooling a youngster like myself. You got some smart guys on here.
Oh, Molly goes, here we go.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to admit that it looks surprisingly close. And I was just like, I know that's not the Mott's, but that's surprisingly close.
Yeah.
He was on the boat at that time too, wasn't he?
Yeah, we lost Johnny.
Oh.
So I'm here. I'm just trying not to talk because I talk over everybody, and that's why I don't show up on these shows.
Well, you had a lot of good stuff to say today, Johnny. Every once in a while, you got to let it all out, man. As annoying as it is, we still need to hear you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the beauty. It's like.
Okay, Human Hex Trafficker, you gonna say anything?
He's not gonna talk. He's just listening. Didn't you read? Dude, what is wrong with you, Captain? You never read the private chat.
I don't read the private chat.
Even when I'm like, hey, you have to see the private chats. Like sometimes I'm like, don't
I have
talk
to click
about
the
them.
damn
I have
thing.
it in the private chats, and the guy never even freaking looks.
That's why I text you both when I need to hit you up, and I'm like, I go in directly to your beep beep phone. That's how you get a hold of me. Everything else is muted. If you call me or text me, it beeps.
Oh, no, never mind. Sorry.
And it's gone.
He just wanted to get into the private chats and tell us privately that he appreciates us.
Aw.
Appreciate you.
Coming on in for a little cuddle.
The private webcams. He's here for the private
Interesting.
You know, I do own T-shirt OnlyFans, Hex OnlyFans. You know, we can put them on there.
Why am I not surprised by that?
I mean, like, you might as well buy something stupid if you're going to buy something good, and I got some good ones too.
So the thing is, you know, the reason why I promoted Hex to begin with is the fact that
God damn it,
it's different. It's the idea of saving. It's the idea of delayed gratification. It's not something that you expect a quick return on. It's a savings account. And I like that. I like the fact that it's training people to think ahead and save for their future and not try the in and out game. In fact, I thought that, you know, if I got Hex, I could treat it like a 401k. I could leave it alone and not really worry about it. And then I got drawn into the world of trying to educate people about this thing. And now I'm not leaving anything alone. I'm all up in everybody's business. And I'm trying to help people see that this thing is different. And it's something that it's a tool, right? And it's not, people got the problem with the crypto space, and maybe part of the problem with our marketing, you know, is the fact that it applies to the people that are kind of the lottery ticket mentality. And the reason why people that win the lottery lose all of their money is because they're all in, all out. Everything's got to be all in, all out. As soon as they make a profit, they self-sabotage. So very few people actually win the lottery and get to keep their money because they don't have any future plans. We plan to fail. We don't always plan for success. When you reach a level of success, you have to ask yourself, you really have to ask, you have your questions listed, you know, like, what am I going to do if you really, you know, they ask you this in school. If you really had all the money that you'd ever need and you didn't have to do anything for money, what is it that you would do with your time? You really need to ask yourself that question now before you can be prepared to succeed. Because once you're there, you're going to get bored. And when you get bored, what are you going to do? You're going to self-sabotage because you can't handle that your reality has changed so much. So, you know, are you really helping people if you get them in that lump sum lottery mentality? Because if you have that lump sum lottery mentality, you're going to run out of money. Hex is one of those things that actually allows you to plan for your future if you use it as the tool that it is. It's not a lottery mentality. It's delayed gratification. It's saving for your future. It's learning how to plan for your future. And that's a difficult thing to teach, especially since we're used to the bank accounts taking away all the yield-bearing stuff that they had. And there's like nothing like it. We live in a buy now, pay later society where everything's on a credit card. People have totally lost that concept of what it means to actually put money away. So I don't know. It's a hard thing to explain to people and the value of that planning for your future and saving for your future. So I don't know if there's something that we could do differently with our marketing that can keep these people from FOMOing, because Hex is not designed to just like put everything in. You're not supposed to sell your house and do all that crazy shit that Michael Saylor says. This is a matter of taking what you don't need right now and being able to send it to your future self. And not everybody's in the same situation. You know, Toby's talking about being wrecked. Yeah, okay, at the top, we were up millions, guys. We watched millions disappear, millions that we didn't have disappear, okay? Your idea of wrecked might be you scraped together $500 and that's all you had, and you put it all in Hex, and now you're 90% down and you're wrecked because that was money. That was all the money that you had to put there. Maybe that money was supposed to go to a bill or something. No, that's not how you're supposed to play the Hex game. The Hex game is You take your beer money, you take your vice money, you take the money that you don't need, you take that, that extra pack of cigarettes that you don't need to be smoking anyway. That is the kind of money you save. And at the end of the month, you're able to put it away, and you're not going to touch that money. You're not interested in touching that money. That money is supposed to make you more, because your gold in the vault ain't making you more baby golds. Your dollars in the bank are not making you more baby dollars, but your hex is making you more hex every single day. And I talked to Steph at Staker app. I said, one of the things that would really change people's psychology is just switching those two numbers and making the hex big and making the current suggested US dollar value smaller, because that's what you're actually looking at. Current suggested US dollar value. That's what you're looking at when you're looking at the charts. That's what you're consuming your time on. You're consuming your time on a price that you're not going to sell at anyway. The current market value. Because when your stake ends, that's when you can sell. What you need to be looking at is the fact that your hex is going up every single day. You have more of the thing every single day when you stake. That's what you need to be focused on. You feel like you're losing basically just because of the position of two numbers. What you're focusing on, where your focus is, makes you feel like a winner or a loser. And that psychologically can be changed simply by moving a couple things on an app.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny. And another one of the things that I've patted myself on the back for, because I actually got some kudos from Richard on a live stream I was on with him, is I mentioned one of my things that I use in my elevator pitch, which is that, if you own Bitcoin and it goes down 20%, you're down 20%. But if you have staked hex and your average APY is near 40% and hex goes down 20% forever, for every year from now on, your dollar value is identical. You haven't lost a thing. And then, so it's a hedge to the downside, and it amplifies the upside, because now when you're getting gains and you have 40% more of the thing, as that price goes up, it's not only just your principal that's going up in value. Now you have 40% more of those tokens that also is going up in value every year. Every year. And it's like people just don't seem to put that together, that, yeah, I'm down X number, but if you have this many more coins, you're not down as much as you think you are. And then on top of all,
our society can't think a month ahead, let alone a year ahead.
Right.
Which is ironic to me, because the people that got in this last thing, they're like, you just wait 3 years. That's so funny. You wait 3 years. The typical lifespan of a crypto is like 1 year, if it lasts that long. And this last one lasts, and anyway, the point is that these concepts are actually new. For people to think long-term or think beyond a month or 6 months, that's new, right? They expect immediate returns, and it's not immediate. It was never designed to be immediate. The fact that it's so hard to begin with, that threw us all off guard. Shoot, those weren't the numbers we were throwing out there. We didn't expect to see no 50 cents. We didn't really expect it. Yes, the 10,000X was touted, but did we really expect it that quick? No.
Right.
I mean, it just blew our minds. So did we really lose? No, we didn't really lose, because we didn't expect it anyway. We were like, most of us we were told that it was never going to hit a penny. We had everybody blowing us up there like, no, Hex is never going to hit a penny. It's got too many units, because at that point in time, we didn't understand that market cap was a vanity metric. That is something that the Hex community has been exposing over time, is the fact that market cap is a vanity metric. It is not a cap, or is it any sort of limiting vector, because it's an arbitrary, unachievable number, right? But we didn't really realize that, because all of us used to use those coin ranking sites. All of us used to look at them and think that that's what we were supposed to be doing, right? That's where the new coins were listed. So until we learned that market cap was actually really an arbitrary, unachievable number, and that Bitcoin breaks that market cap every cycle, If you would have told people that Bitcoin was going to have $1 trillion market cap 10 years ago, the true believers would have laughed at you, right? So we've learned along the way. And so we've got to be able to share that with people, but it's going to take them time. And we got to get them out of this 1 month, 2 months, 3 months sort of mindset.
I agree with
have them start thinking about years, because this is a savings account. You don't look at your savings account every 5 minutes. You don't go, oh my God, how much do I got in there today? Oh my God, how much? But that's what crypto is. Everybody's hooked on this short-term time frame. And it's the same reason people sold their Bitcoin at 30 cents. It's the same reason Bitcoin sold at $1. It's the same reason it sold at $30. Okay. Hex is the only cryptocurrency that I've seen that has so much virility to it, where people are way more passionate about Hex than they ever were at Bitcoin at the beginning. It really has a chance of outperforming Bitcoin over the years to come, if you are patient enough. It has all of the elements to do that. Will it do it? Nobody freaking knows. But does it have the elements to succeed? Does it have a lot more elements than Bitcoin ever had in its infancy? You know?
Well, I would take it one step further, and I'd call it a 401k instead of a savings account, because we already know if our 401ks, when we turn now 68, will be available. A savings account you can draw from savings whenever you need. And with this utility, you're superseding your Social Security, which is worthless, 401k, which will be worthless. And now you can't pedigree the fact that you already get taxed for your Social Security, regardless. That's going to be worthless. So within the same paradigm, what Johnny was saying, Hex gives you the ability to guarantee your retirement, and not just your retirement, your family's financial legacy within the throughput of what future finance will be. 100% to what Johnny was saying.
Well, I think that's what you do with your 401k is you take part of your check, a little bitty bit of it, a piece of it, a fragment, and you put it in there and you forget about it. That's what you do with it, right? We're not talking about throwing hundreds or thousands of dollars at it. We're just talking about what you can at the end of the month. And what hurt us on this whole philosophy is the gas fees. It made it so difficult for people. They were paying their price for their Hex, and they were paying double on that and gas fees, and they were getting a shitty deal. And the ETH miners were benefiting from it, and the holders weren't. So you start at a net loss. But look, if you were to buy mining equipment and mine Bitcoin, you start out at a complete net negative. You don't get your principal. You start at a net negative. You are buying equipment that you're never going to get a return on your investment out of, only to mine future coins, right? That you're going to have to pay power bills until you hit a break-even point. So Hex, you start at a net positive. Even if that dropped down in price, you still start at a net positive. As we're mining, you are starting at a net negative. Like, any business you run that you start, okay, you're going to start at a net negative because you're going to buy the tools that you need. You're going to rent the facilities that you need. You're going to start at a net negative. Hex allows anybody to start saving today, as where these other things require upfront money, right? So it's very important, and for someone like myself, if I don't work, I don't get paid. Okay. So I would like to have a retirement. So when I'm not able to work, I have money that I can draw from in the future. So I'm healthy now. I can work. I don't need this money right now. I can leave it there. When you're in a position where you can leave your money set, like in a savings account, and you don't need to touch it, that's the point where you need to be. You shouldn't have to feel like you have to give up your position because it's going down. You should feel like you're earning coins and your position is increasing, right? So the psychology is very different in what we're trying to do here and what we're trying to teach. Teaching people to save for the future is
it's an old
very
concept
important.
that just doesn't get taught anymore.
No, Yeah, it just doesn't. It's become a foreign concept because it doesn't get taught anymore.
Well, and it's not exciting. You know, I mean, that's the thing about crypto, and so many people are in it, and that's why the shiny things are so attractive, because it seems like this get rich quick thing. And we've said it time and again, it's like Hex is a get rich slow thing. And so that's not going to have like the appeal to people that don't want to think of it in these longer terms. What I would encourage, if there's people that want to do these other things that are a little shiny, and you want to spend, you know, $150 on gas to go do this other thing, take $150 and also go ahead and invest it in Hex. If you think this other thing is going to play out in 3, 5, 8 years, go ahead and do this the same amount of money in Hex and stake it for 3, 5, 8 years. And then time will tell you what was the better move. And at least that way you've got skin in the game on both sides. You don't just negate the opportunity.
They just want to pick a winning horse, Toby, is the problem. They want to put all their eggs in one basket and pick a winning horse and come out of the gate swinging. It's like, look, guys, right? Anything you do requires time. If you want to be the best fighter in the world, you better train for years. You don't take one martial arts class and think you're going to go into the octagon and whip everybody's ass. It doesn't work that way, right? So if you want to get in crypto, you're going to get your ass whooped until you find the right thing and you stick with it. You know, that's
right.
That's
and what I think the thing is too is it's important to let people know that, you know, maybe it's not as shiny and sexy, and maybe it's a longer term play. But did any of us expect the free airdrops we got that were worth thousands of dollars? Did any of us expect things like Hedron and Icosa and other things that have come along afterward that have helped amplify the opportunities? You know, so I mean,
if you like free coins, guys, by the way, if you like free coins, stake your Hex. You can forget about that, and guess what? You get free Hedron.
Every day.
And with free Hedron, you can stake that and get free Icosa. Right, it works into it. It's circular loop systemic design. Exactly.
Well, I'm not getting into all of it. I'm just saying that like lately, everybody's big craze is I get to mint for free. Guess what? Hex also allows you to mint free.
Hex is it's the T-share. T-share is the code. Proof of T-share is what allows you Hedron. Not owning Hex, liquid. Stake Hex.
Stake Hex.
Proof of T-share.
Well, and with what's going on with the gas fees right now, I looked at minting some Hedron today, and it was going to be like $3 per stake to mint it, and it's like, what the fuck, you know? So it's like, but it's
Jack.
I'm gonna mint my free coins, and it's only going to cost me $3. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, if you want to spend some gas to get some free coins, stake some Hex, and you can do it forever. There's not like a limited mint period. You can mint those coins until the cows come home.
Yeah.
You know? So there's sexy,
do that, did we?
Yeah, there's sexy elements to Hex that people don't talk about or don't think through. And it's like, you know, we've got shiny elements to us too. There's a long-term play that everyone is going to be very happy with in the future, but there's some shorter-term things too that make it sexy, I think.
And there's also that added benefit of that people that are airdropping to proof of shares. That is what it comes down to. Proof of shares are going to get future airdrops from future things, because anything that is coming out new is going to target Hexicans, because we're the only ones still kicking in this bear market. Opportunity goes where the opportunity is. All right. People that are building new things are going to go where the money is. And the people that are still here, they know we've got money and they want their piece. Now, if they really wanted their piece, they'd be smart about it. They just buy and stake Hex their own damn selves. But unfortunately, they're going to continue to make new projects for problems that don't exist.
Okay. And with that, I want to thank everybody for coming today. It's been 3 hours of Johnny Chaos Show. We appreciate you all. Thanks for coming. Have a great evening.
Who invited me?
I love the Johnny Chaos.